This is the One Piece Podcast, episode 895 for the week of Monday, December 1st, 2025. My name is Zach.
My name is Ed.
And my name is Steve.
Welcome back, Steve. How are all the conventions and holidays and conventions, right?
They were turkey-tastic, conventurific.
More of the hidden commentary I expect from a Steve Yurko review.
And I think, what better way to sum it all up?
There are many better ways, but we don't have to get into that right now. We have very special guest translator for One Piece and Weekly Shonen Jump and Manga Plus. Stephen Paul is with us. How's it going, Stephen?
Good. It's going very busy as well. So I'll just tell you off the top, I will probably be bouncing after the manga recap, not to get ahead of ourselves. But I definitely had to join for this chapter because what a chapter it was.
What a chapter. We'll get into opinions on that, I'm sure. I don't know what everyone's opinions are yet, so we'll get there. It sounds like they're diverse, though, so we'll see. We also have Eisner Award-nominated artist whose the name of their books I always forget to write down ahead of time, but let me try. Dragon Racer, Ghost Hog, Mermin, The Littlest Fighter, which is the one I kept forgetting because it's new. I still forgot one, though, right? Joey Weiser?
Yes. Hello. Since we last spoken, I have been up close and personal to some original art by the man himself, Eiichiro Oda. I went to that De Young Gallery in San Francisco and saw a bunch of original One Piece art and saw like the what do you call it? Like the tubes they use to like print the comic and everything, and it was amazing and awesome.
But the rollers?
Yeah, the rollers.
Yeah.
Is that the technical term?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking of like that scene in, I think it's that James Bond movie, Tomorrow Never Dies, where they put the guy in the... They
print the manga?
No, they throw the guy into the newspaper printing machine and he gets smushed by the rollers.
Oh, nice.
What manga did he get smushed by is the question. No one? Okay.
And James Bond looked at the blood-soaked manga page and said, "That's peak."
I expect you to die, Mr. Monkey.
Yeah, Joey. So I know Kirsten went to the what was it? The original name of that exhibit? One Piece.
It's called One Piece Only, which is a weird name, but yes,
it is a very. Let's just put an English word at the end of this. Yeah. And yeah, she said amazing things about it. It sounded really cool. As an artist, I have to ask if anything stood out to you in particular, or like if your opinions about Oda have changed or evolved in any way.
Yeah, I mean, it was incredible. The greatest thing about seeing original art is it really does like reinforce the concept that the person who is making this is a human being, rather than just it being magically transported to your tablet every week, So I got to see a lot of beautiful, line work, as well as a lot of interesting corrections with whiteout and stuff. I got to see like they have the like spread of Whitebeard standing with the sun behind him, and that kind of like solar effect that I got to see is done all with whiteout, which is really cool. I got to see his beautiful color work, which some of the blending on that is like really unreal. That page, the color spread, that's
isn't
that
Japanese... done digitally these days? We see his progress videos.
The color planning is done digitally, but all the actual final work is done
by hand. Yeah,
by hand.
Great.
Yeah, it was cool, and they even had like one page from Egghead, so you could see some sort of modern work. It was mostly kind of like earlier stuff, like kind of pre-time skip stuff, or like some Fishman Island pages. And yeah, it was amazing. That show, it's called The Art of Manga, is up until about the end of January, so I definitely recommend folks check it out. And it's not just Oda, the like Rumiko Takahashi and the JoJo's artist,
Araki,
Ashton Ojo, all sorts of really beautiful.
I was gonna say, don't they have like the drawing from Ashton Ojo, like the final one where he's sitting on the stool? Wow,
isn't the joke about Araki that he's a vampire who never ages? Have you seen a picture of him?
Yes. He was not there, unfortunately. I mean, I think he was actually at the premiere, but not when I was
he
there.
was.
Yeah, he was. That's when that was going around. Yeah.
In addition to like original pages from each part, which is incredible to see, they had these giant paintings he did. His section was really great too, because he's like, I think, interested in fine arts maybe a bit more than a lot of manga artists, and so there's actual like paintings that he did just to like display in galleries and stuff rather than just, you know, pages, which
That's
it was
awesome.
still awesome to see.
Yeah.
It was really cool to see a lot of like Rumiko Takahashi's newer stuff. I assumed was all digitally, but it's not. It's just drawn incredibly cleanly on paper. So yeah, it was awesome.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's really awesome to hear. Before we get into the podcast, we have some news, but first I do want to mention our Patreon at patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. Steve, I know we our Sticker of the Month Club, the latest voting closed, right? Just recently?
As of
recording.
By the time you hear this episode, you cannot sign up for the November sticker, which was
well, it's now December.
Luffy doing jump rope with Kaido.
Yeah.
It is now December. A new poll will be posted up, but since I feel like we've had a string of months starting at the beginning of the week, so I don't like to overload the Patreon with a bunch of our posts. So expect it, you know, maybe like a day or two. The poll will be up, and they usually stay open for a week. And I think at this point, I think we had 28 people, 23. I think around like 23 people, I think, voted in the last poll. So,
Nice.
Yeah, just stay tuned. I not fully decided on what ones are going up yet, so I can't get the word out, but just stay tuned. And for those that aren't on that tier, but this sounds intriguing, might want to give it a shot.
I've heard very good feedback from our patrons on Discord, at least, about the stickers, and obviously Steve's art is always worth the price of admission and then some. So if you haven't, please check it out. We also we also have our entire Forced to Watch 4Kids series. If you haven't listened to that is evergreen, especially now that the titles are apparently being used by the live action series, not literally, but similarly.
It's the style.
They're stealing our bit, really, if anything. I think as Steve put it. Yeah.
The original OPP Japan documentary that was filmed in 2013.
Yes, it was. It's on YouTube now.
Not anymore.
Yeah. It is no longer a Patreon exclusive. It is on YouTube.
It has been a Patreon exclusive for a while, to be fair. But what is a Patreon exclusive is the commentary that we recorded at Anime Boston in 2015 or 14. Steve, I think, was there, right? And Ed, I assume. Yeah.
I was not there for that.
Oh, you weren't? Okay. Greg was there, though, and I was there.
Yeah. That's when you guys were doing the Are You a Cop thing?
Yes, thank you for bringing us back to
very, very important.
We also
I definitely heard about it after the fact.
We also we did do that joke a lot. We also have deleted scenes and more. That's exclusive to Patreon, so you could check that out. Anyway, that's enough about us. Let's talk about One Piece news. I'm going to start with the good news, or the new news at the very least. And that's that we know the voice of Joy Boy in the anime, Urara Takano, who apparently was the voice of Luffy in the Ganzak OVA, thanks to a deal for getting that for us.
Yeah, which a lot of people saw, I think, for the first time when it was on the
streamed
like a year or two ago.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell me that was a year or two ago. That doesn't
feel that long. Because it was directed by the same anime director who did Film Red. Is that right?
Yeah, I think that was right.
Yeah, it was kind of like a promotional thing.
And they had like a message from the director on that stream.
Yeah, it was a production IG, right? That did that. It's a completely different studio. Yeah. So that's a really cool casting decision. I am assuming done on purpose. But perhaps. I don't know if you all have any thoughts on that at all.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. You know, hopefully they carry this actor through, you know, to when we actually get to spend more time with that character in flashbacks and whatnot.
So we'll look forward to hearing them again in 2036. The other bit of news, Steve, I forgot how you put your reaction to it specifically, but I agree. Maki Otsuki, the artist who most recently did Dear Sunrise, Memories is what they are.
It's the first One Piece anime ending.
first One Piece anime ending.
And I've said this before on the podcast, but when they end the One Piece anime, they'll play that song and I will cry.
And many fans did cry for different reasons, I'm sure. As at Bandai Namco Fest 2025 in Shanghai, she was escorted off stage because of a ban on Japanese media or Japanese artists in China due to something the prime minister said, which I don't have the specifics in front of me. But yeah.
I have the article here I was looking at. The trigger was remarks this month by new Prime Minister Sanae Takaichi, who said that a Chinese Taiwan threatening Japan's survival could trigger a military response from Tokyo.
Yeah, and Maki Otsuka obviously signing off on that. I say sarcastically.
God forbid. Yeah. They heard that entire song sang at a card game
convention.
Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of, there's been a round of saber rattling about that. It's always one of those things where, anything involving like the South China Sea, for example, all the various little territorial squabbles, there's always, the potential for stuff like that to get back into the news. It's definitely been a lot more intense recently. And I don't know, it would take a lot more political savvy to know how it's all tied together, but for whatever reason, it does seem like there have been more aggressive comments lately, or more like hypothetical comments about sovereignty and stuff like that around Taiwan. So it's a very sensitive situation right now, clearly.
Saber rattling, though, very, very good choice of phrase there.
Yeah. It is unfortunate for many reasons. Most of all, I mean, I feel like an artist shouldn't be subject to the issues of their country's government generally, but because none of us are responsible for that.
Yeah, she got screwed.
Yeah. Anyway, we have real news every week. I don't like it, and I feel like it shouldn't be invading our. But here we are.
Yeah.
There's actually other little real news is that Luffy once again, third time, was in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade this year. I think it was the first year that the bucket hat Luffy did that. It was the year that I saw it before it happened. But always looks great. When I was watching with my son, he's like, "Oh, is that your favorite? Is that the one you're looking for?" And then Buzz Lightyear was behind him and is like, "Is that a bad guy or whatever?" But we'll teach him.
Yeah, that's a celestial dragon. You see the dome.
I'm glad I brought it up.
And then there was someone took the opportunity to repost a picture from last year where it looks like Luffy's about to give the Gum Gum pistol to a NYPD officer on the street there. He's just sort of looming behind him with the fist.
Our own Monkey D. Luffy was asking, "Are you a cop?"
Now that's tying it together. There was one piece of live action news, and I'm probably going to pronounce his name wrong. Auto is playing Mr. One, and Daisy Head is playing Ms. Doublefinger in season 3. I don't know if you all have any thoughts about that. Yeah.
Also, was the March 26th? Was it March 26th for season 2? Was that announced around the same time?
Yes, that was announced a few weeks ago,
a month or so ago. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But season 3 has also officially begun filming. I think this was announced right after our show last week. Episode 1 is titled "Where There's Smoke." I don't know where that could go. But yeah, that's begun filming in South Africa.
And it makes sense that they're announcing Mr. One and Miss Doublefinger now, since they don't show up until Alabasta, and we know based on the chapter or the episode titles.
They announced Bon Clay's casting a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Right.
Alex was Alex on for that one, because I know he was very excited for that.
Alex, Josh, and I talked about it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. I couldn't remember how many weeks ago. Yeah.
That little teaser video where you got to see all the logos that are kind of dressed up like the different characters and stuff. That was very fun to see.
Yeah, I like that promotional tool. That's been cool. And there's one really big piece of news. I'm happy we have the star attraction here with us. Steve, your character's back, and I didn't really get to have a comment from you.
I didn't listen.
I think we need a comment from the source. We need an exclusive with Dr. Fishbonen's voice actor Steve Yurko. Now that you're back in the background. Yeah, please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, look at that.
Wow, it's like he's in the room with us, chewing on a fish skeleton.
Spone?
A fish spone.
Yeah, I didn't even catch it. I think it was our friend Ken who put a screen cap of it. I was like, oh shit. Just as I was thinking, I'm like, he's never gonna come back.
It's One Piece. They all come back. And I think we said that at the time too. I'm like, you're gonna have a big role in 20 years when you're the star of the next arc or something. Okay.
Totally.
I think those are the big pieces of news.
I'm gonna be known as like, this was the unpeak of
and it's more than being
One Piece
a random devil worshiper.
Yeah, like the rest of us, who will also probably have to come back.
I played a few.
So
played.
Anyway, how dare you say that? Except maybe. Let's get into the manga recap for chapter 1167. I'm not making the joke because we did that last week. On the other side of the break.
Okay.
This is the manga recap for chapter 1167, Ida's Sons. This chapter and all chapters are available for free, legally, and worldwide at shonenjump.viz.com and mangaplus.shueisha.co.jp. Ed,
yes.
Do you want to go through Oda's comment first? I don't know if that's what you have.
Yeah.
I mean, if you would rather do the cover pages.
Well, no, it doesn't relate to cats, but I will talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Oda says, I'm currently obsessed with 8D audio. It feels so great to be enveloped in sound. I want to remodel my room. So this is
two separate thoughts, I assume.
This is a surround sound effect where, you get the audio, behind you or above you or on the side.
Yeah, I guess so.
Where you
does
have
it
your
spray
speakers
a
playing.
water gun at you too? Like, does it
rumbles your seat?
Yeah.
Sprays
it's not
mist.
8DX.
That's what it is.
That
That's
stuff.
what the X is. Okay. He would do that though. Like, he would.
Totally.
Any other comments on 8D?
Was the Honey I Shrunk the Kids attraction at Disney, where like a dog sneezes on you and it sprays you?
Yeah.
Yeah, more dogs
Or
sneezing on
if
me.
you go to Universal Studios, that's like every ride there spits on you. So
Steve is our resident
I should know.
amusement park guy.
Or actually, I remember a Bug's Life attraction at Animal Kingdom that had like a thing in the seat that poked you when there's hornets.
It's tough to be a bug.
Good.
Especially when it doesn't exist anymore.
Anyway, Ed, what's going on the cover page?
Yeah, speaking of cats, we have a reader request for Gen and Nochiko scolding a cat trying to steal a book, but they're not really mad by the ideal Sanji.
Steve, can you tell us about your ideal Sanji?
Yes. Anywhere from East Blue till about like the beginning of Eni's Lobby. That's ideal
Was it
Sanji.
the orange shirt and vest?
I mean, that was Pumpkin Spice Sanji is pretty great.
It is the season.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not anymore, but it was the season.
Yeah, so this is a bipedal cat carrying a big book of fish.
The big book of British fish. Or just fish.
You have to scare the kids, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they do, yeah.
Being
why
chased
didn't
by
you
the shopkeep and who is shaking a rag on a stick at him.
Yeah, his little duster.
Yeah.
I guess what he washes himself with. And Nami is from Kokoyashi.
I had no idea.
And she's called the Black Cat, and this is a cat stealing a book from the store. See, it's like poetry, it rhymes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stephen, on the side it says Osaka, but I assume there's more under his hand.
Osakana Zukan, which is the big book of fish.
Oh, that's not fun. was hoping he had some
So
fish from
was Big Book
Osaka.
of Fish added by Viz's letter?
Yeah, the color,
Oh, really?
the writing on the front was Vanessa. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Okay.
excellent.
Oh.
I did not. I just assumed that was Oda for whatever reason.
Yeah, that looks pretty.
Or like
Yeah.
Sanji's
it's
Big
pretty
Book of
spot on.
Talking.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah,
about
that was Oda.
That was Oda.
That was
Yeah,
not
you
ideal,
said-
Sanji.
You said Osaka,
Yeah.
and I thought I heard Oba. Oh, is it Obahan? Is that the
Mhm.
Osaka
because that's
Baja.
what this lady in the right top right
Yes.
corner here.
She's got the perm.
The perm
She's got the
and,
perm.
and you're usually yelling and shaking a rolling pin at somebody.
No, not her though.
No.
That's my ideal self. One day I'll become an Oban. I'm getting there.
You know, it's reader requests like this that make me sometimes wonder, like, why don't you just draw it if you're gonna get this specific with like.
I think Oda enjoys
it's just
the
odd
specificity.
how many details they throw in.
Well, because I think they need to stand out when they send it, probably too.
Yeah,
Mm,
that's
yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
they want to just be like draw Nojiko. And
Scolding
like,
them, but they're not
okay.
really mad. It's true. You can see it in the face. That's good.
Well, let me ask. So, Steve and Joey, if you're going to get a commission for something, would you rather it just? Well, I mean, I guess you'd rather it just be something boring.
don't
'cause-
commission me.
Mhm.
And there
I mean,
it is.
honestly, the more specifics it gets, well, it depends. I was gonna say there's kind of like a
It's
a
boring
threshold
but
where
specific.
it gets easier and easier, and then it gets harder and harder if you get.
Well, I should say
But,
which would be more
Yeah.
enjoyable to do, not which
I-
is easier, which I guess is.
I think kind of sometimes. I mean, I always like am like, hey, what do you want so that I could cover everything? Because that sure beats getting people like, change this, maybe that, maybe that. And I'm like, no. So also, it's like we start charging for that, and that's what all artists should do.
Yes. I do remember
Uh,
sitting behind you while you were drawing all the commissions at all those cons. And
Never again.
You know, this is
Yeah,
a
I'm
great
like-
conversation, but we do have a very thick chapter to get through here.
do we?
Are you sure?
Do we?
Is there much to talk
No, I
about?
want to talk more about Artist Alley.
I want to talk. Yeah, and commissions.
The commissions.
well, who's starting?
Support your artists, Joey. Please begin.
Okay, so first of all, on this page, there's an awful lot of writing on people's
Yes.
shirts and heads and whatnot. We can maybe cover that in a second, but so we start 33 years ago, 5 years after God Valley, and some there's our guy Morgan's talking to a real nut in the streets, saying, we were all freaking out that there were pirates off the coast when all of a sudden an enormous figure appears out of the mist behind him. And we all started getting exciting hearing about these mysterious figures in the mist. I'm sure.
I do like hearing. I
Um,
do like seeing like this guy is like sort of freaking out and excitedly telling the story, and Morgan's like, just calmly.
It is. Yeah,
I love
that's
this young hip Morgans with the headphones around his neck and
Yeah.
the
good. So you know how
ska checkerboard hat.
glasses age you up,
I do a podcast.
headphones
Yeah.
age you down. That's why I do a podcast.
So then we cut to the seafloor prison in Impel Down, and one of the prisoners is telling a lively story with a kaboom. And the next thing I knew, the ship was in splinters. We were sunk in a matter of seconds by a Neptunian, right? No, it was like human. And the other, I love this like really shocked, scared guy up front.
I was gonna say this is an
He's
all-time
biting.
panel.
He's not
I
even
like this
biting his
panel.
fingernails. He's just biting the whole like front
Yeah,
digits of his fingers.
It's really good. I like that. It does not look
and-
manga even. It looks like it's out of like a completely different series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we cut to a village where there's like a little couple having a lovey-dovey
Yeah, that's weird.
hug session or something off to the side. I don't know what's going on there. But another reporter or something is saying, and did this event take place in the Florian Triangle? Asking the question that Ken and all of us were asking. And this guy who I for a minute I was like, who is this guy? This is so specific looking. Maybe you all can tell me if it's somebody else, but I think I was just thinking of Pound maybe. But he has this very specific looking face.
His underbite.
Yeah. He's a real great looking dude with a mustache and an underbite and a cigar. He's saying, not
Cook
even
Up, though.
close. You think there's any fish worth catching out there? We don't go near it. And all he can say is it was a monster in human form. And so, okay, so we're at the end of this page. Let's go ahead and go through the t-shirts and whatnot.
Okay. Yeah, so the guy who I assume, like in my internal monologue, he is talking like Casey Kasem as Shaggy, like we were all freaking out, man. He is his shirt. This one actually is a little hard to see because I don't know. It's just the way that Oda drew the letters, but it says Hitodayo. So that's an H is the first thing, which it kind of looks like an E or something.
It's a human.
Yes, yeah. So that's the joke, I guess. The punchline is that his shirt is saying it's a human, and then this other guy with the I'm more distracted by is that supposed to be his ear? Like what is going on with the side?
It's
of
like
his...
creeping up the side of his head.
It's really weird.
At first I thought it was like a little wing or something, but
it's
I
hair,
think it is just I think it's an ear with an earring.
Where's his ear?
But it's just
you're right. It is an earring. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But it's just very high on this guy's head.
Yeah.
That's like one of those things when you look at it closely, it like starts morphing into something else.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. It's
got
just
like
an ear.
big pig.
Yeah.
It's got like pig ears.
I really have no idea what's going
Okay.
on with his shirt.
So his his
head.
tattoo on his on the back of his head says Horafuki me, and so Horafuki is like someone who tells tall tales, and me it's just like you damn so and so. So he's basically like calling this guy like the boy who cried wolf, sort of like he's like, yeah, you're just telling stories.
It's got to be the most unfortunate tattoo I've ever seen.
Yeah, he goes and hangs out around people telling outlandish stories.
This is an SBS.
Yeah, it's like, you know what? He thought, you know what? That I'm with stupid shirt.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
amazing. But
Yeah.
how can I make that
permanent.
eternal?
Mhm. Yeah. Also, there's a Panda Man in this panel.
Yeah, there is.
There is.
Yeah,
Look at that.
behind Morgan's.
Oh yeah,
Morgan's,
peeking
yeah.
out, doing like the photobomb kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Yeah.
And then at the bottom, I don't know what the Meke is. I didn't even look it up. I just assumed it was something French, and that's below me. So, but the guy with the who is taking notes here.
It's a Spanish. Well, I don't know if I should trust AI. I'm just realizing Google sucks. It might be like a busybody.
All right, come back with a a real
Yeah.
source, and
I'm looking.
and we'll
I'm
listen to you.
looking. Go ahead.
But the guy with the cap is we've seen him before. He's been more prominent in other scenes, but his name is Reuter, and Oda spelled it kind of funny here. I wrote it as I think Reuder, because I think it was supposed to be like a joke on Reuters.
Yeah.
And Oda has him as Reuter, but we've seen that guy before in the present day. I forget
he
what
looked familiar.
exact
He still works
scenes,
for
but-
Morgan's, presumably.
He works
Yeah.
for
I
Morgan's.
guess they have a good
Yeah.
health plan or something. It according to sources that aren't AI, it's a Spanish word that does mean busybody or something like that fits, so it's possible.
Okay.
Okay.
But not French. So
Okay. All right. My apologies.
So it doesn't stand for barbecue.
that's nice try.
Y'all, is anybody up for a barbecue or what?
Barbecue? Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the next page. The narrator goes on to say at this time the countries of the Grand Line were abuzz with a frightening rumor, a tale of a lurking monster that struck its targets, mostly pirate ships, from the deeper mists out at sea. And we see a pirate freaking out because in that first panel up there, in fact, a mysterious shadowy figure is jumping off of a mysterious shadowy pirate ship.
Elbaf ship,
Or
it looks like,
Viking
with
ship.
the
Yeah, right.
shields on it.
Mhm.
And here we see, in fact, it is Harold busting through and totally wrecking this ship here in a cool looking panel.
With his scar stumps on his face.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gross.
He's a real Hellboy over here. In truth, this monster was Harold, but to the people on the sea who'd never even seen a giant before, the experience was pure terror. Doom. As part of his sworn oath of the 1,000-Year Atonement, Harold assisted the Navy's efforts to uphold order.
And meanwhile, Mihawk is looking at him chopping a ship in
Yeah.
half and saying, "Look at the size he needs to mimic a fraction of my power."
I was thinking that. Ed, I gave you Oda boxes.
Yes. Anyway, Oda boxes continue. Meanwhile, the pirates who scattered to the winds after God Valley would grow in power over the next decade or two until they reached their primes and became the faces of their era. So we see steering Kaido and Big Chin Newgate,
Yes.
with his sticking his big chin out there. All the while, as the pirates around them focused on claiming territory, one crew achieved the seemingly impossible and succeeded in circumnavigating the globe. And that's Goldie Rogers' ship there.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a big cheer coming up from his ship.
You could barely see the egg. It's there, but
Right?
Wait, so Buggy is not
That's
in it.
exciting.
Shit.
The crew led by the king of the pirates, Gold Roger. And the crew is posing for a picture and celebrating. We see...
Oh, it's
You see-
Spencer. Steve, it's Spencer. The character Spencer.
Yeah, so we see little
Hey, look at that.
little 11-year-old Shanks and Buggy and Rayleigh and Crocus and Gabon and Roger.
And Spencer.
Spencer. Of course. Spencer, does he have any gifts for us?
It's just lava lamps that don't work and fake dog do.
Yeah.
And
And that's like 90s Spencer.
Yeah.
Spencer every store now is just a t-shirt shop.
Yeah. That's where I get my Slipknot shirts.
I was gonna say someone has to sell graphic tees.
And black lights. So we continue. When he was captured sometime later and publicly executed, the world government assumed it would serve as a demonstration of their strength. However, the lure of his massive fortune, the One Piece, sent the world into an era of frenzied madness. And I'm reminded here that the government executed him by stabbing him with 2 swords in the chest at the same time and not beheading him, which was weird to me.
Well, that was in the anime.
Oh, it looks like that's what they're doing. Or maybe
Yeah.
maybe they are
It's hard
beheading
to
him.
see.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I will point
Yeah.
out, just for you, detail-oriented folks, I did take those sound effects specifically from Chapter 1, Page 1, since that's
Cool.
how he did it.
Nice.
good. It's a good chunk.
Really,
Yeah.
Steven, shunk and roar.
Yeah, I was
Roar.
gonna
Yeah,
criticize
we're all
you for
roaring.
that, but now I'm.
This is some bush league.
They're
sound
trying to say
effects.
Rora Nora Zora.
Okay, but there's more. And they say, the Oda boxes say, to counteract the arrival of the unforeseen great era of piracy, Navy headquarters recruited over a dozen giants from various regions in the hopes of bolstering their ranks.
Very familiar faces here.
Is that Spencer? No, joking.
Stop trying to make Spencer.
No, last week I was
He
just
is a thing.
okay. You could listen to
So
last
we
week's
know
episode.
there was John Giant and Saul, obviously, or 2 of them.
Yeah, his name is my name too.
Yeah.
Wait, which
I
one's
don't think
Saul?
we see-
These were the guys.
I don't think we see
These
Saul.
guys were in Marineford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, these
These are
aren't
just
Saul, but
randos.
these are the guy. These are the big giant guys.
Yeah.
Was Dalmatian a giant or just a weird-looking dude with a devil fruit?
No, just a weird looking.
no,
dude.
he's
Just a
the guy who looks like a Dalmatian.
That's how you know.
That's pretty weird to me.
Yeah.
Harold, meanwhile, who had been faithfully serving as a tool of the Navy, was finally given official access to the Holy Land this year. There's some background talk here. It was huge, and this is in Mary Joa. It was huge. An ancient giant, they say. I wanted as a slave.
Clearly, the Celestial Dragon's talking here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's what Harold is. Now, I'm curious, how did Harold get inside this room?
You know
Like,
what?
how big
Stop
of a door do
carefully.
they have?
Okay, Cinema Sins.
It's like
The roof opens up.
yeah.
It's
Skylight.
like
A stadium.
Universal
Like a
Studios.
dollhouse.
They use the elephant doors. I like the dollhouse one where it just like opens up and
It
Yeah.
does look like a dollhouse too, with all them sitting like right next to him
Yeah.
like that. I mean,
Yeah.
that is pretty.
because sometimes you just want you want He-Man to play with your Mighty Max
Yeah.
guys.
Okay,
you
so
know?
which elder is He-Man and which? No,
I think the real answer is that this chamber is elder space. It's just you know, you can fit anything in there.
Yeah, so when we turn the page and we see that it's what Mercury talking.
Oh wait, this part's me, Ed. So yeah, Mercury responding to a Shallows Covenant, a first time hearing that specific term. Mm-hmm. Correct me if I'm wrong, but saying, indeed, you are now a trusted weapon of the Holy Knights of God, so we gave you this badass tattoo.
It's not
really. It's really not badass at all. I do want to note, though, it is interesting that they're bones, since that feels like a more piratey motif. That did pop out.
It almost looks like Whitebeard's symbol.
Whitebeard's second flag.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. We don't talk about the first one.
Yeah, no, we don't talk about the first one. Although if it looked like that, it would make more sense. You are now a trusted weapon of the Holy Knights of God, a devoted blade. He's like, it's an honor. Oh, I love being a sucker.
And by the way, if that does or does not sound familiar, that was the label that was given to Gunko when we saw her. Yeah.
Oh, I did not realize. So we get a little exposition finally about this, although we still don't completely know what it does, but we could probably piece it together given what we've heard over the last few, let's say, months. The Covenant has 3 stages. Please take notes.
Mm-hmm.
Harold, get your big giant notebook out. Oh no, he's destroying everything. The Shallows Covenant is a trace of a bond, merely. Then there's the Depths Covenant, which we do not talk about, and the how do you pronounce abyssal?
Abyssal.
Abyssal. Okay, I don't think that's a word I've ever used out loud, but I should. And Abyssal Covenant.
The deepest depths.
Right. No, yes. I mean it comes from the word abyss, which is a great word as well.
Yes. Do not stare long into the abyss, for the abyss stares back into you.
And for covenants, especially so. Anyway. They are reserved for only so that last one is reserved for only 13 exclusive individuals who can enter into a contract with the true God, which Harold rightly asks, what is this God you speak of?
I'll point out too, I'm not actually sure. So when because the way that it's phrased, the Depths Covenant and Abyssal Covenant are reserved for only 13 exclusive individuals. So it kind of makes it sound like the two of them together combined to 13, I guess. It's not super clear with the way that Oda wrote it, but that's kind of what it seems to suggest. Which to me, I would guess that maybe the Abyssal Covenant is like the 5 elders and the Depths is maybe the other knights or something. That's just my own hypothesis, but
No, but they use, so I was going to bring this up later, but the Abyssal Covenant, I think, is the one that the Holy Knights did use. That's the one they mentioned specifically.
So the two words are not directly related. It's I used Abyssal as a translation here. Abyss was the actual name of the thing that they use, but Abyss. So in Japanese, these words are, the Shallows Covenant is like shallow sea contract, and the Depths Covenant is deep sea contract, and then the Abyssal Covenant is deep sea contract. Which they're kind of corny when you say them like that. So I had to come up with names that worked, that also sounded cool. And so Abyssal was sort of like, well, I don't know if there's anything else that sounds cooler, like deeper than Depths of the sea. So that was kind of my thing. But it doesn't necessarily mean that only the Abyssal Covenant can use the Abyss itself. But I don't know. We'll find out more about this, I'm sure, in the future. So,
yeah, I mean, it is certainly interesting to hear a little bit more about that.
Yes, yeah.
And he continues in answering, who is God? This is Jupiter.
Nusturo.
Venus.
Yes.
Okay,
Venus.
that's how I'll remember Venus. If the day should come that you are made a proper knight, then you will know the truth in the depths of the world. So do they use the same word there, Stephen?
Yeah, no, the depths is like in the deep core of the world or something like that.
Or this is like learning about Xenu.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually. That's probably
You're going to reach level 9 clearance or whatever they call it.
It does feel kind of similar to that. That's and Harold immediately is like, and is that when Elbaf is going to be allowed to join the government? I just want to join. Come on, guys.
Come on, let me join. Come on.
And this is Saturn, right? Who says, "Of course, Harold. It'll be announced to the world. You'll be welcomed. Everything will be fine."
And also make sure you sign people up for the World Government VIP program.
Yeah, somebody on our Discord was joking that, like, well, if you sign up 20 people to the Shallows Covenant, then you can be made the Depths Covenant.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go. I thought it was three things, too.
Someone beat me to it, but
now
this is just
like
retail.
Scientology.
Because it is. And Harold doing like the happy Luffy face in response to this, I did think was sad / pathetic / funny simultaneously. I'm grateful for this honor. I'll do anything you ask of me. We see an older Saint Girling who looks slightly less stupid than younger Saint Girling, but also slightly less stupid.
But you can tell he's older because he has facial hair.
Right.
Yes,
the bottom of the crescent moon is starting to form. He this is his least stupid looking form between his young and old self, I will say. But he always looks stupid. And please don't let anyone say he's peak and looks peak, because they're wrong.
Yeah, but he's got that shit on. Look at him.
Oh my god. And we go to Shangara, not to be confused with Shangri-La or
Or Shandora.
Or Shandora,
Shambhala,
that's the other one. Or Shambhala, or Conqueror of Shambhala. In the Knights Temple, which is the Knights Temple in the land of the gods. And here is Saint Girling, commander at this point of the Holy Knights of God of the Figureland family, for those keeping score of the person we've been introduced to at least 3 times. What is the Great One thinking? And so obviously he is one of the people who knows the true God. So he must be one of those 13, which would make sense. As Sommer's asking, can the king of Elbaf actually take orders? Meanwhile, he answers that, I'm standing right here, dude.
Yeah, I like that. I like that they're asking and he's like right there.
Yeah. We have a very young looking Shamrock here. Right? At this point, it's a pretty good assumption. Of course.
Sorry, this just reminds me, because the sound effects used for Roger's execution. Shunk should have been Shamrock's name. Shanks and Shunk.
I like it.
Wow, that's great. I agree.
Shank. Yeah.
Now I'm never going to be able to unsee that. Of course, your word is my command. And Garland,
be careful, don't disobey the government. You're going to get shunked.
Where's the nearest boot? Give it to me.
Yeah, that is the Harold story.
Bad boy.
Oda's really laying it on thick, to be fair. We will call if we. He says, "Don't worry, the boot will be sent to you. It will be delivered to you if needed."
Don't call us. We'll call you.
Yeah, we will call if we need you. Keep a long distance transponder snail on your person. You are free to visit the lower world, but you will not speak a word of what goes on here. Understood. I love you so much, Garling. Have I mentioned that? You're great. Steven. I can't.
Okay. Well,
so you can.
We'll go far away from Marijoa now.
You mean down?
Down into the depths.
The lowest steps.
But apparently not the lowest steps. 20 years ago, Fishman Island, Ryugu Kingdom. And we hear some laughing voices, ho, 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 bada, ha, 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 which are revealed to be Harold and King Neptune of the Ryugu Kingdom. And they are
very large men.
They're very large men. They're sharing some very large barrels of ale or some kind of drink. And Harold is saying, "It's been too long since I had such a good laugh, Neptune." "The same, my friend, the same. We have too many troubles on our minds." So yes, they're commiserating about their various kingdoms, which makes sense because they are both, on the outside of the world government, trying to find their people acceptance from the world at large. So it's a good meeting of the minds here. And we zoom in on Neptune here, and he says, "First of all, no, I very much doubt your son is some kind of demon child. I mean, can he possibly be worse than you were? And Harold slaps himself on the head and says, "Whoa, when you put it that way." Like they're just really yucking it up here. And Neptune says, "Actually, a fortune teller told me that I would receive a daughter 4 years from now. What do you say? We can
fortune
betroth."
teller is 6 years old at this time.
Yeah,
right? Yeah. I just
Bad
want
with
to make
Charlie?
that. Yes.
Yeah, well, I guess she's probably 12 now, because didn't she say, wasn't it
I
like
think
10
she was
years?
6 when she gave that
Yes.
fortune to.
Yeah,
Yes.
but look at her. She colors in the lines.
She does.
Yeah, she's very talented.
Yeah.
What do you say? We can betroth your Loki to my daughter. And Harold laughs it off. But forget about it. Listen, I'm not
Oh,
talking.
come on, we can't look past this great face that Harold makes here.
Oh,
right here.
Yeah.
It's
He's
an old
making, like,
timer. That's an old timer.
The Shaq tasting the hot ones face.
Nice.
And he's like, but forget about it. And Neptune, he's trying to hard sell here. He's like, listen, I'm not talking about any ordinary mermaid. Supposedly, she might be born with wild, disruptive powers. And while we see Otohime with the little baby Ryuboshi and Mamboshi, and I don't know if I can see Ryuboshi there, but
Fukaboshi?
yeah, Fukaboshi is, he's on the top right, but I don't.
Before his fangs came in.
Yeah.
Grew in, I should say. Mamboshi looks like just like a big egg.
Yeah. In his mama's
This
arms.
is the
It's very
most
cute.
I've liked Mamboshi, I will say. I've always been a Mamboshi detractor,
Hater,
but
yeah.
this brings me back right here. I like it.
This is Mamboshi number 5.
Have we not made that joke before?
Don't like that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
if he
writing
was
it down,
raised
I don't
amongst
like
all
it.
this,
Yeah, that's
if he was raised amongst all this stomp tromping, that explains why he's always wiggling around. Yeah.
Commence
I
the
must have made
jiggling.
that joke. Okay, whatever. Go ahead.
And Harold says, in that case, it sounds like a match made in heaven. Let's have a toast to the future of my little brat and your shaggy daughter. And Neptune says, she will not be shaggy.
Okay,
Okay.
should we discuss
and
here?
then we all
Okay.
look at the camera.
Steven,
And we all
can
jam
you-
at the camera. Yeah.
Can someone say we on the One Piece podcast predicted this somehow?
Did we?
Well,
We Greg.
okay. First
Greg
of all, there are two things about this that should be familiar to you. One much more recent than the other. So I think everybody is getting activated by the use of the word shaggy, right? Does anyone remember the other thing that this is very reminiscent of?
The guy at the beginning of the chapter who sounded like Casey Kasem.
No.
I'm joking. The
That
transponder
this scene in particular.
Oh,
that someone called. Yeah.
someone else like thought of, because this,
Neptune.
are you talking about another scene with Neptune
Yes.
talking about someone else about his daughter?
Yes.
They called him like Harry or something.
It was
right? Or-
Roger?
Yes, it was
Yeah.
Roger in the Oden
Yeah.
flashback. We see Roger
Yes.
talking to Neptune. I think it was when he was still a knight, right? Because I remember him being in armor.
Right. You're right. You're right.
And
Yes.
Huh.
Yeah.
so it was earlier than this, but yes, it was almost. It wasn't the same because he wasn't talking about betrothal, but they had almost the same conversation otherwise. And Roger was like, "We're not going to steal your hairy daughter."
Right. That's what it
and
was.
so-
That's what it was.
Really, really interesting to note here. So I said hairy, and then this one is shaggy. So Oda did a little sleight of hand, kind of, which is that in the old scene with Roger, Roger describes Neptune's daughter as Moja Moja, which I translated as
Oh.
hairy, and that is it's sort of like it's hairy in like a sort of like chest hair, like body hair kind of way. Like it kind of implies a certain level of volume, like wiry hairs that are going everywhere. But in this case, Harold says my little brat and your daughter, and he says Mosa Mosa shita, daughter, and so again, that is literally like Mosako was the term that I translated as shaggy from Loki. So
Nice.
it was a really clever bit of work on Oda's part to like be like, oh yeah, I remember him saying that, but then like specifically changing the word to this other hair related adjective that should be very familiar when you hear, when you think about Loki, and so on. So Yeah, I will say, I will remind folks, just for the record, that me and Greg did not predict that it was Shirahoshi. It was a listener request or a listener question that asked if Shirahoshi made sense, and we sort of like initially laughed at it, and then we were like, and then we were like, you know what? The more that I think about it, the more this makes sense. So I don't want to take false credit for predicting that it was. Yeah, Zach will do that for us. But we were definitely
let me
very
find
intrigued.
The person.
The listener didn't get all the way there, but they led the way.
Mm-hmm.
All listeners and all listener submissions are properties of the One Piece podcast.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
I've always said this.
Yeah. But yeah, I would say that
Thanks, kid. You just saved the One Piece podcast. Please sign here that you did not
save the
One Piece podcast.
Oh, here it is. So I found the question. It's from SNP on June 11th. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Saying
Never forget.
I need to read it because they basically called it. Saying, I asked Steven this already, but to Greg, what is your impression of Shaggy / Mosa? They're very polite, but they have been leaning toward feminine or masculine was the question, especially in this recent chapter. The translation question regarding this panel in chapter 968, which is the one we're referring to here from the Oden flashback. The birthing is at hand, our sovereign will soon be born, and another in a distant sea. Though they were asking about whether Loki... Oh, no, actually, maybe this wasn't the person to predict this. I guess it goes further back in time. Shaggy, it's been... SMP has really been promoting it, though, so I'll keep looking, but it goes further back than that. Go ahead, I'll find it.
Yeah, so I would say, like prior to this scene in particular, I would have put the odds at the the Shaggy character being Shirahoshi at like 50%, with like any other possibility like adding up cumulatively to the other 50%, whether it's a character that we know or it's a totally new character. But after this, I'm like 90 to 95% sure that it's got to be Shirahoshi, and the only other answer would be like if Oda is doing a red herring, like he's intentionally misleading us here, because this is like way too this is way too much to be a mere coincidence, especially with him kind of revisiting the earlier lines that Neptune said, but also changing the adjective so that it matches what Loki calls this person.
Okay, SNP
really...
mentioned this as early as January 8th of this year. So
damn.
I think that was the first time.
The year of Shaggy.
I can't believe that was a year ago. Yeah. I can't believe we've been in this for a full calendar year.
Because what other purpose does this scene serve other than to kind of hammer that in?
Right, exactly.
It's like, hey, did you know Harold's new Neptune? Like, get cool, I guess.
Okay, so yeah, here. Okay, December 26th is the first mention here, saying they're mentioning all of what you just said, basically.
I'm a true believer.
Yeah, so I can't take a victory lap on guessing that it was Shirahoshi by any means. We were kind of led to that by our listener feedback. However, I will take a victory lap on choosing to translate Mosako into Shaggy, because this joke would not work if I hadn't done that. And so that's a fun thing.
Yeah, what was the other choice? You mentioned it on the SGS episode, I know. Like it could have been something else.
I don't remember. Yeah.
I gotta listen to that one.
I think it's just that the fan translations were translating it like a name.
Like a name, yeah.
Oh, right, yeah. But it was most. They were translating it direct. They weren't translating it. You mean they were just saying most.
Right. Yeah. Right. They just or like Lord Mosa, because and like I was like, no, it's in the form of a nickname, like a sort of,
it's cutesy.
Not so much cutesy. Well, slightly cutesy, but also kind of like derogatory almost, in a way that fits Loki's personality. And I was like, oh, that's definitely got to be something. Now, I think my guess is that if Oda were to explain why Loki calls her that, I still think it's because of the transponder snail, like being snow resistant. And so it's covered in hair and looks shaggy. I don't think that I think this line is just like a fun coincidence. Reader. Yes, exactly. It's a giveaway to the reader. It would not make any sense for like this conversation to mean that Loki was going to call her Shaggy based on a conversation they had before Shirahoshi was born. That would be really weird. But
I actually think it's more fun almost because of that. It is definitely like, hey reader, this is your answer, even if it's not like continuity wise. Anyway, there was Steven. We still had this whole second half of this page.
Yes, there's still more of this page. So later that year in the Owl Library of Elbaf, we see Harold is talking to Saul. He's saying, of course you can settle down here, Saul. And Saul's appreciative of that. But I wanted to ask you something. Who's that? Would you join with the educated of Elbaf and open a school here? And he's, opening his arms and doing like the Hills Are Alive with the Sound of Music thing to show the the majesty of this little lake thing that they have up in Elbaf, where you can see the library, but apparently there is no, Walrus School?
The Hills Are Alive with the Sound of Learning.
Nice. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there is a library there, but there's no school yet.
Yeah. And Saul's like, a school, huh? Sounds nice. He has a very funny look on his face. So yeah, this is how the school got started, apparently. Which makes sense since we know that Harold is kind of like a big sort of reform king in a way. Yeah. He wanted to get the kids raised right. So this makes sense.
This fits with everything. Yeah.
Right.
You're doing the next page too.
Okay, next page. Here's the slightly more controversial page. 15 years ago, there was a shocking incident in Sacred Mary Joa. And once again, we get the celestial dragons, the faceless celestial dragons just yelling into the city at large. My slaves have escaped.
That one's Buzz Lightyear.
They've broken their cages open. Get out, hurry. You want to spend your life in chains? That's presumably one of the slaves, or maybe Fisher Tiger himself, because we see him. There he is. Fisher Tiger is running, and he is huffing and puffing. And he runs under the full moon there. Got to make note of that for you, Zach. We see a figure standing like a cool guy with his big sword in front of Fisher Tiger as he runs along. And interestingly here, well, I'll make note of this. Fisher Tiger looks like he pretty much just escaped. Like he's got broken chains dangling from his wrists, and he's got he's wearing a tattered shirt and everything. And he's all bruised and messed up looking. And he sees this figure and he says, "Damn it, are you a knight of God?" And then we see a slightly more detailed version of the silhouette, who raises his hand with the sword, and we can see his wavy locks. Could it be Sabo? No, probably not. We assume, of course, that this is probably Shanks. And
you could kind of see the 3 scar thing there, right?
Yeah, right. There's dark, and then there's like shaded, and it kind of looks like, you can only see his right eye shining, against his silhouette. And then there's a kind of a confusing panel here where there's an impact, there's a ka-ching, and what we can guess is the neck shackle being broken for Fisher Tiger, which, spoiler alert, go back and look at the second panel on this page. There's like 2 inches of clearance around the entirety of his head on this shackle. Just for the record, he could have taken this off at any time.
No, but that's that's one thing. But if you take it off,
I heard enough of this in the Kuma flashback. Okay,
right? But if you take it off, it explodes, right? That's the whole thing.
Yeah, wasn't this from didn't we see this in the slave auction at Shabadi?
Yeah.
Well, I don't see any bombs, so
okay.
It's also under his hair, so it's stuck under there.
Yeah.
It's all
true.
tangled up in there.
It's hard. Yeah.
It's not their fault that
Can't cut that hair.
everyone in the series has gigantic necks. It makes it difficult. The necks are bigger than the heads.
Yeah, but it's kind of weird because like it looks like Tiger's swinging at him, right? Like his arm is like jutting forward. He's also holding like a ribbon or something. I don't know what he's holding. Tiger with his left hand.
Yeah, that I don't know what he was
weird.
That's weird. And
I think it's the bandage around Shanks's face because you get a little bit of something trailing off of the back of the silhouette there.
It does kind of look like that, but then I don't know. Like, I mean, we'll see Shanks later. He's still got a bandage on.
Well, also you could get a new bandage between the night of this and hey, can I get a new bandage?
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, maybe he's setting something up for later, but it just seems like a weird, like not really drawn attention to detail to not like have mean anything.
I think it's because he didn't want to not give too much away. I think he didn't want to show too much.
Could be. So our shadowy figure, as he passes, says, "I've left the armor unlocked. Here's how to get there." And Tiger looks on with surprise as the shackle crumbles around his neck. And then a little time later, a couple minutes later, suddenly there's a bunch of explosions as people with weaponry are kind of being blown away by the scale of the destruction here. Like, whoa, is that gunpowder? And then we see the Boa sisters. Sandersonia is coming in to rescue Hancock. She's like, "Hurry, sister. Sandersonia, someone's come. They're fighting for us. We can escape this hell." And we also see Koala, of course, who was also rescued at this time.
Oh, yeah, a little feral koala with the hair.
Yeah. A little cute little koala with her bulging eyes. And she is getting out of there. And the Oda box continues. "This incident, caused by the future captain of the Sun Pirates, Fisher Tiger, was known as the ransacking of Sacred Mary Joa." And we get to see a sort of familiar layout here. I mean, the image of the three sisters running away, which we definitely saw in the Amazon Lily little when she was telling Luffy this story.
That's almost exactly.
Yeah. The picture is almost a direct double. However, people were pointing out that this might be a retcon on Oda's part because the way that he told it in the past was that Tiger was a slave in Mary Joa, and then he escaped, and then he came back to Mary Joa to free the slaves. But this kind of seems like it's just being treated as one event, which, to be honest, makes more sense to me. I'm not sure why he would have separated the two initially.
I mean, he could discount it as a legend, because it was told. Yeah.
Secondhand.
Also,
I mean, all you'd really have to do is add a narration box at the top of the second page and saying like a year later or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. That's true.
Or or maybe he can insinuate that like this was the first page is just Tiger's escape, and then there's actually however long passing between the two.
I'm sure with what we see, it's
hard to do that when they're both night scenes and they look exactly the same. So
you could also say that, I mean, didn't Tiger hide from a lot of people the fact that he was a slave? I mean, that's one of the reasons they used the sun symbol.
The sun,
Right.
So it's possible that it could have just been twisted over time to avoid him looking. Maybe it was like the legend was like that, so it wasn't like he was a slave in the first place. Maybe.
Well, it's even more embarrassing that he was a slave who escaped and then he freed other slaves. It's doubly embarrassing for them.
Well, for the bad guys,
But Tiger was embarrassed.
Yes.
Though,
maybe he got out of there and he's like, "Am I forgetting something?
I forgot my keys.
The other slaves.
All right, the slaves. Yes,
I left the oven on.
I left the oven on in the armory. Oh no,
the gunpowder.
Boom.
Yeah. To be clear, I mean, I would just say, like, personally, I do not care. Like, if there's a mismatch, like, it does not matter to me at all. But I know people will bring it up, right?
But I will say, and I've said this before, Oda is very good at explaining those away when he needs to.
Yes.
Joey.
Okay, so now daytime in Mary Joie, and Harold is talking to Summers while we see some reconstruction happening.
Scaffolding.
And Harold's that it sounds like that was quite a night. And
It's a real bender.
Summers says, we're thinking someone from our side might have opened up the armory to them, so we're looking for the rat now. Put him to death, someone is suggesting, a light suggestion. And so here Garland comes with his two sons, introducing them. This is Shanks to Harold. He says that he's the younger brother of Shamrock, separated after birth. He's been through the gauntlet of the lower world, but if entered into a depths covenant, he'll be an instant boost, likely on the level of Shamrock. For the time being, we'll use him as a devoted blade of God like you. And Harold says that he thought the same. I thought the same thing with Shamrock at first, but have we met before? And we get a look at Shanks here, who does have the bandages over one eye, as we mentioned just a second ago, from his scar or is that from his scar? Doesn't the scar go below where those bandages are too? I don't know. But anyway, this is presumably from Blackbeard's attack, right?
His Vega Claw.
Which is interesting to know that kind of happened in between here. But anyway, so Shanks says, I don't know you, you great lumbering peon. He's putting on his best celestial dragon voice here. How dare you speak to me as if we're equals? I've had the blood of Figureland in my veins. Mark my words, I'll be a knight before you.
Where's your waspy voice, Joey? Can't you do? Oh, you lumbering peon. I can't. I don't know why I tried.
I've always had the blood of Figureland in my veins.
Get it out. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. Is that A, B, or F, or what were all the different kinds of?
F was one of the ones.
Yeah,
I remember that.
I've had this F in blood. It stands for Figureland.
Yeah.
Maybe that's how they classify blood types in the
Luffy's a Figureland confirmed. Okay, so Harold says, "Oh, my mistake," and we see a little interesting panel of Shanks kind of steadying himself, which might be interpreted a few different ways. I think it is him kind of like grappling with having to pretend to be an asshole.
I thought, now that I'm reading this again, I feel like Harold seems to know Shanks from maybe somewhere, like Roger or like a wanted poster or something.
Yeah.
And Shanks
have we seen Harold meet Roger? No,
but he might have.
This might be alluding to something we'll see in the future.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe like a flashback that will like within the flashback.
Because Harold, because really the first time we see these lads as babies, which is an odd thing. Would be like, have I seen you before? Oh yeah, I saw you as an infant. You look exactly the same.
But
just
Harold,
you had red hair.
Red hair. It's One Piece world. But Harold wasn't even on God Valley, so
that's the thing. He wasn't there. I assume this is alluding to something that the reader is not privy to.
Oh no. But also Shanks seems to. I have a feeling that Harold knows who he is and that they like had a mutual understanding here that you were not gonna talk about who I actually am or something like that. But I don't know. And especially with what happens at the end of this page, that's kind of what I'm getting from that. There's like an implicit agreement or something. But yeah, go ahead, Joey. Sorry.
Okay, so on the next page, we get a nice establishing shot of the two brothers here in full Holy Knight garb. Devoted Blade of God, Figureland family, Saint Shanks, which is weird to see written like that. Holy Knight of God, Figureland family, Saint Shamrock.
And Shamrock's got the good hair.
Always did. Yeah, well,
I disagree.
He's the older of the twins, right? So he's had a little bit more time to grow it. So yeah, they're looking very Rose of Versailles. Very cool. So he says, "Let's go, Shamrock. Tell me more about the Holy Land. I want to be the hero who captures the one responsible for the attack. Any clues?" Very clever, Shanks. And Shamrock says, "There's still time to do once your wound is healed, Shanks. You don't know how it feels to learn what you've wasted 24 years of your life. I always knew I was different from the others." No, I guess that was all Shanks still saying that stuff, right? Or okay, so
Yeah, that's all Shanks. Except for
Shamrock
that
was
middle.
saying you can wait until you're healed, and then Shanks is saying that he's wasted 24 years of his life because, as he says at the bottom, "I hated everything down there." Putting on his good rage face, good pretend anger here. And Harold looks on as the crowd is squeeing for him. Eek, yay! And is kind of having a moment to himself here where he thinks ...
Steve, all you know.
Alrighty. That year in the fisherman village in Elbaf, not to be confused with Fisher Tiger, we have this really beautiful wide shot here of this giant sword sticking out from the tree line here. And I don't know who's talking. This is like, "Nope, can't help. I don't know enough about medicine. Let's call Harold and ask him to send a good doctor with proper stuff." And we hear faintly, "No, you can't. He's busy with his job." "And what's a government connection good for if not this?" And we see it is Ida, bedridden in the hospital with illness disease, with mother's disease.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And she I guess she was cold, so she needed more blankets.
Actually, we'll find out what disease this is in this chapter, to be honest.
And this is a young Mato is here, very upset.
You
And
can
we get
tell
this-
it's her because she got the pointy nose, right?
Oh yeah. And then we'll also find, and the dialogues also did give way. And also we just get this real this troll of a I guess
Are you gonna voice
he is
this
a
guy?
doctor.
Are you gonna voice this guy too?
Yeah, I voice all the doctors.
Yeah, you voice all the doctors on One
I
Piece.
play them on TV.
You too. I love this design,
and-
actually. I think that's a great design.
He's real funny. He looks like a freaking Muppet.
I
or
know,
something.
it's amazing.
It's just- yeah. And she says, "Just watch, I'll get better on my own." As she huffs here, she having a hard time breathing. And this fellow here says, "Seems to me you've been getting worse by the day. Harold'll be heartbroken if he sees you like this." And Ida says, "You run the bar for me, Mato." And Mato says, "No, not when you're sick, Ida." And this fellow continues. I'm going to give him more of a Don Brown voice. He's like, "You know what Harold does each time he comes home? He visits all the elders and asks you to make you his true wife." And Ida, once again, struggles to speak. And she says, "The fool. I prefer running that little bar. Meeting all those sailors from far-off lands makes me feel like I've been helping Harold out in my own little way." And then we hear, "Hey, outsider hag!" And Mato says, "Whoa." But it's a big, an earth-shattering kadoom we hear. Mato steps outside, and it's Loki with an ox that he's probably either killed or concussed. And we hear some chattering in the background. He says, "Got some fresh meat to feed her. That bar's a nice chill place." Sorry, One Piece character is saying "a nice chill place" kind of tickled me when I read it this morning. "That bar's a nice chill place for me to hang out at. I need it open again." And this guy says, "He's gotten bigger, but he's still the same impudent brat inside. You're the only one who could tame that little beast." And he says, "Howardin's off with his comrades, searching overseas for a doctor for you. So both of your sons have a lot of love for you." And you see
Aw.
Howardin here on a ship with his gang here, and he's yelling forward as he eats a big chunk of meat here.
Oh, look, it's Roto. Ugh.
Yeah, Roto's doing that navigation thing.
That way.
Navigate. Yeah.
It's Gerd, and who's to the right? Do we know who that is? And I see
That
That
looks
must be
like
Goldberg in the
Stanson.
back.
That's Stanson.
Oh yeah, because he doesn't have the facial hair. Yeah, I see Goldberg in the
I
back.
think Goldberg.
Yeah.
You could see Goldberg underneath. Sorry, I don't know my ship terminology here, but those
Stern.
ropes. I think that's Goldberg. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Underneath.
Starboard stern. He's in the
No.
starboard
Yeah.
stern of the ship. Yeah.
I can't tell. Damn it.
But anyway, Ida says, "You're all making a big deal out of nothing. I'm just fine." I was like, "I'm just fine." That's real sweet of them, though. Heart. We go to the next page. We go to Brewer's Village, Loki's mother's home
It's Milwaukee.
in Elbaf.
You.
Yeah, I was saying.
I think we
you
made
go
that
there
joke
for the wiener race or whatever they call it. I love the architecture in this town. You can tell
Yeah.
they brew because everything's a barrel.
This is where they make all the Marmite.
This is where Donkey Kong lives. And I think this is Loki saying, "Huh? What'd you say?" And this crazy old kook here says, "I said we don't want the outsider woman becoming the queen. You agree with that, right, Loki?" Yeah, and this man's continuing. It's like, "Estrid's the true queen, and she's from our people. They can't take away our fortune and status. So we gave that wench a little poison." Ergot? Is that what these are called again?
Yeah.
That's when you get an
These
Emmy,
ergots.
Grammy, Oscar.
Oh my God.
What's the R for?
Oh, it's I don't know. Get back to us
Fame
on
Yeah,
that.
we'll
murders
get-
you from the inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fame only brings out the worst.
It's a
in
Razzie.
the
You want a
people.
Razzie too.
Oh,
It's a-
Razzie.
there you go. These ergot spores won't stop once they're taken root. It's certain death. And yeah, he's holding a little vial, little glass thing here of poison, and all these other people surrounding him are just snickering. And we see a little grimace on Loki's face, and yeah, this ain't gonna end well. And this doctor says, "Mato, get in touch with Harold at once." And she runs out saying, "I will." And Ida, laying down, she's looking worse. And she says, "It doesn't matter if we're not related. It doesn't matter if we're not related by blood. Loki's my dear sweet boy, my special little guy, just like Harden is." And we see
The sweet boy.
Loki. We see this sweet summer child, shrouded in darkness, lifting this hammer above his head.
This is one of the
as we
coolest,
see-
greatest things. Too.
See this old coot. His wrist is broken.
As it
Looks
should be.
like the top half of his face and his lower jaw have been twisted in opposite directions. And he says, "Loki, stop!" And Loki says, "Ida ain't gonna die, is she?" And we see the Milwaukee is in flames here. And we hear Loki continue, "I remember what my real mother did. She cast me out of the tree into the underworld. You want fortune? You people make me sick. Ida ain't gonna die, is she? Because she's..." And Loki has beaten the shit out of everyone in town, including this old man, picking him up by the throat. Because she's, and we see Ida flashback here, it says, "Loki's just lonely. That's all. Want to live with us, with us, with us, with us, with us? A part of us all, a part of us all." And Loki says, "The only mother I have." And that's where the chapter ends.
And we'll be back in a week with another chapter.
Yeah.
Thank
Wow,
God.
3
That's
in a
what
row.
that's what the app said today.
Is that what Steven says?
That's what I say.
That's what
Yeah.
Steven says.
Ooh, exciting.
So that is the chapter this week. Who does anyone want to go first specifically? Joey, do you want to start us off?
Sure. Okay. So we have finally transitioned out of God Valley and are back to Loki and Harold. And I am locked in. I am totally on board. Like I don't want to
I'm
go
with
too
you
much
there,
into
pal.
this. Like every week I feel like the discussion of is the flashback good or bad has been kind of done to death. But
Yes.
I will just say, like, I liked what I was seeing. It was interesting. I wanted to see all that stuff in God Valley, but I wasn't feeling it in my guts. I was feeling this in my guts, like these last few pages especially. I was very excited to see. And while I'm looking at the last page, I just have to remark on how beautiful those burning buildings look. The assistants did an amazing job on that. It's a really cool effect. Like we were talking about seeing the original art at the top of the show, you can totally see the like whiteout effects that are being used to make the kind of like burning embers going through the sky.
Joey should know. He's seen it in person.
It looks amazing. Yeah. I would love to see this page in person. But yeah, so I think this page is really, really incredible. And in general, the art was on point in this chapter. It's been really great. Let's see, what else do I really have to say about it? I'm sure we will talk about this. I guess I'll just touch on there's a lot of kind of feelings I'm seeing about what Shanks should or shouldn't have be included in all these kind of like things that feel almost like revising history, where he's now like freeing Fisher Tiger, and there's a lot of like I saw some talk about like, does he get this tattoo? And then the tattoo is like eaten off by the Lord of the Sea or whatever at the beginning of the series. And to all that, like I would say the you know, I can kind of roll my eyes at retconny seeming stuff, but I don't really mind him freeing Fisher Tiger here, just because if it does in fact line up with this timeline in which Shanks is here in Mary Joa, then it would make sense to me that he would do this if he's in fact here for kind of like moral reasons. I suppose the big question is like,
why
is he here specifically for some sort of undercover operation, or is he just here because he wants to rediscover his roots and is ultimately not happy with what he sees? Or, you know, all that stuff will be interesting as it unfolds.
And not to derail your time either, Joey, and I don't know if this will branch into a long conversation. Are we also going to get, is there a possibility of some sort of Prince and the Pauper kind of switcheroo here? I don't really have any evidence to back that up, but we were talking about recontextualizing like old scenes that we're familiar with and all that. And like, oh, is Shanks actually the evil? Like it's the Hugo and Bart. Like, actually, Shanks is the evil one.
Yeah, but the difference is Bart was clearly evil the whole time. It's just you were.
But I think just knowing, like, I'm not on the level of like Greg here, but I'll always mention the Odin ghost. So it's
Mizuki Foden.
Greg doesn't always nail it, but I don't want to claim to know, but Greg is very, like, I think he's the closest to being the most familiar with Oda's writing style here, but I just feel like, I don't know, Oda doesn't really go for these really mindfucky, these mindfucky, like, plot twists like this. I think he's usually straightforward. I can't see Shanks actually being the evil one here.
That's too soap opera-y, but
is that coming from?
It would speak so badly of like everyone else who knows Shanks that like they think he's like a pure-hearted guy, that either they're incredibly dense that they don't realize that he's actually evil, or that like, you know, they're actually cool with it, or they know about that about him. I don't know.
It completely, it's too much, but also not to metagame it too much, but with the latest volume announcement, the trailer, the YouTube video on the Japanese One Piece YouTube. And he has and Shamrock has a different voice. God, I forgot the name of the guy, but he's like in everything. One Piece fans will know him as Yonji. He was the voice of
Right.
Yonji.
Oh, Yonji.
He's the voice of Shamrock. So I kind of think like, well, I don't think like I think if it was truly going to be, oh, they switched places sometimes during the story without us knowing, I think they would have kept the same voice actor. So that's me meta.
He was someone big in Jujutsu Kaisen that I should know.
Somebody big.
It's Kenjiro. It's Kenjiro Suda.
Yeah. He's in everything.
I haven't watched Jujutsu Kaisen. If that's
most people our age would probably know him. He's the Japanese voice.
Oh shit, he was in Orb that I watched.
Orb. That's such a Zack anime. I'm not surprised.
It is such a Zack anime, and it's fantastic. If Zack approves the Zack anime, but he plays plays Nowak in that, who is excellent and perfect. Now that I'm excited now.
I'm taking too much away from Joey. Sorry, I just want to get that out.
Sorry, that's my fault too. Joey, please.
Well, I'm curious. Is all of this like suggestions that Shanks is really evil just coming from this part where he's saying, calling Harold a peon and saying that he hated everything below and stuff like that? Because I don't know. As I alluded to when I was recapping those pages, like I don't believe those words in a second. Like
no, there's always been like a few kind of loose Shanks is secretly evil theories for years. Sorry,
I never really bought into.
I kind of got slightly spoiled on this chapter because Instagram insists on Threads being a thing. I think it's the only reason why Threads is slightly more popular than Blue Sky on the lowest point of the totem pole of social media.
It is. Oh, that's sad.
Yeah. It's true. We are so lame.
Well, that I knew.
But I saw a Threads post talking about this, like, oh, the sword hilts are on this side and blah blah blah, and I'm like, is this like a spoiler? Like that's the thing. These days when I see a spoiler, it's my first thing is like, is this like a spoiler or something? I can't tell.
Yeah, I saw YouTube suggested like, oh, the One Piece is ending. Like, first of all, yes.
Yeah, okay.
One day, I'm sure it will end. But like, oh, is this something related to the chapter this week? And the answer was no, not really. As far as I can tell.
No, but Joey, to throw it back to you. But yes, I agree with you. Like, if you're not reading that interaction with Harold as, oh, Shanks is trying to shut him up by being a dick.
Yeah.
And just the conversation stops cold there, and Shanks kind of trembles here. Like, obviously, he's like, he's acting here.
Don't blow my cover.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big mystery for me that I'm always wanting to know about Shanks is now like, what was he crying about in the Odin flashback in the Roger part? And so I wonder if that was like maybe a part where it was like revealed to him what his like history was, and maybe even Roger telling him that he should return to Mary Joa or something. I don't know.
He also at the beginning of this flashback mentions that he had been to the Holy Land, to Gabon specifically. Like he said something like, on my most recent trip to the Holy Land or something like that.
Yeah. But anyway, I think just to sum up my real like takeaway from this, even though there's a lot of interesting lore stuff, is I'm just very excited to kind of be inching back into Elbaf and back into, it feels like the end of the flashback in present day is in sight, which is exciting. And I think things are playing out at like a decent speed, where like some things get rushed and some things have a certain amount of like character weight put on them. And I think it's the last month or two of chapters has been really solid, I think.
Anything else, Joey? Since we interrupted you.
No, that's good.
Okay. Steve, since I haven't heard your thoughts in a while. And then I'll do Steven, because that's the only person.
Sorry, I'm looking up some reference here. I'm sorry if this annoys anyone here. I'm not doing it to be antagonistic, but yeah, jumping back into the Herald stuff really feels like it's lighting a fire under this flashback again. I don't want to dog on it too much, but with so little mention of God Valley after it happened, I'm like, yeah, they really shoehorned that in there, didn't they? Because it's like, all right, well, now that that's over, I think in hindsight, it's gonna be like, okay, there's context in there that we gotta know for later, but this, put it there. And last time I was on the podcast, I talked about that I did like it, and I do. But wow, do I feel like we're kind of like firing on all cylinders again, and like the themes of Elbaf and just, you know, and just this shadowy organization that is the world government. I'm like, all right, you know, no, you know, that's, you know, Rox was talking about that a bunch, but I kind of feel like, all right, we sidetracked a bit, and this one just bam, going right back to it. So I kind of I enjoyed I don't know, just the flow of this chapter and the energy. It was great. What else can I contribute here? I think the biggest takeaway is just really Shanks' involvement now, returning to, you know, Mary Joa, and it kind of makes sense now because when him confronting the elders, that was before Wano, right?
Yeah,
Or was
that was like 904 or something like that.
Okay, so that's like
Reverie
it's post.
stuff. It was one of the Reverie, like, I don't know. There was every chapter had this weird, like cliffhanger ending that had nothing to do with the rest of the chapter, and that was one of them.
So it makes sense that, you know, Shanks could walk in there and be like, oh, okay, you know, it's like he can do that. It's not just it's they think it's Shamrock or something like that, or that was Shamrock all along. I feel like this kind of bunks all that. I now I'm very curious to find out what happened with Shanks between, you know, Roger's execution and now, because this is a ruse, because I don't think there's just anything. Yeah, I think we already kind of killed the evil Shanks series, but just Shanks crying, you know, finding out about Roger's, you know, inevitable death. Him asking Buggy to start up a pirate crew after Roger was executed. Like, it doesn't line up. So I think, Shanks knows something. Or something like, because even if he found out, like, I'm from, you know, this family of holy knights, he must have uncovered some truth about the world that made him be like, okay, I got to go back here and I got to find out more. I don't think there's really too many hints in this, but it is another fascinating twist here. I think I feel really uneasy about recontextualizing like a lot of stuff. I think the big thing here is we see this tattoo on Harold, so everyone's thinking, well, Shanks is gonna get that, right? Oh, and that's why he got his arm bit off. And maybe it's just because it's like it's changing the way I've viewed the series for over 20 years, because you always thought of seeing Shanks save Luffy, it's like, oh, that was just him, you know, making a sacrifice for a future generation to thrive. I feel like it does kind of cheapen it if it's like, oh, I wanted to get rid of my arm so I wouldn't have this oath anymore.
Yeah.
Just contact the Lord of the Coast tattoo removal. Right?
Yeah. It's Oda saying, hey, he doesn't need that arm anymore. It's free real estate. Like, let me just write this story beat in here.
I think of it more like, I would like to think of it more as a coincidence, because he's like, oh, I especially don't care about that arm, you know. I just think it's one thing for something like, say, you know, it's like something like Shutter Island or Memento or something like that. Like, yeah, okay. Like, the whole point of that, it's a mystery. And yeah, once you know it, you're never going to have the same viewing experience again. One Piece isn't necessarily a mystery. So I think if it were to be like, well, man, who knows? I could be eating crow. I like to think Luffy eating the fruit and all this was like a happy accident. Like, maybe this wasn't Shanks's plan, but it kind of worked out. If Shanks was kind of just like, and I put the fruit on the bar because I know he's always hungry, it would really ruin like going back and revisiting that material, because then like once you know, like, oh, all this is bullshit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I like to believe that I think the theme of Shanks making a sacrifice for future generations, it's a better theme than an interesting plot twist.
Yes.
Yeah, and like, if there's any positive to come out of it, like, maybe if he wasn't willingly giving his arm up because he wanted to get rid of the tattoo, but he says to himself, like, well, it's better that way anyway because now
Yeah.
I don't have that tattoo. I think that even kind of diminishes it a little bit still because you want it to be a major sacrifice that Shanks like
Yeah.
really gave something up in order to
Yes.
save this boy.
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah. It doesn't feel like much of a sacrifice. I just think if you're pitching One Piece to someone new, I think they would be more moved by an adult pirate sacrificing, losing a limb in order to save a boy who aspires to be just as good as him someday. I think that's better than just saying, oh, but this pirate, then he jumped in the way of this monster to save the boy. But he had the monster purposely eat off his left arm, so then he wouldn't be tied to his family, who are a bunch of no good holy knights, who are working for the world government. So now the world government is working for an even shady, like that. Okay, I'm like, that's too much. Like, no, okay, like to me, that's not as appealing as just like, like a really like pivotal moment, like the part of the emotional core of the series, and just a great character moment. I really hope I've had faith, like Oda, I put a lot of faith in him because he's, proven me wrong a lot of times when I've doubted, but you gotta tread carefully with something that's just been the core of One Piece for so long. I mean, I've been going through some like of my my One Piece collection here, and I see that 25th anniversary logo for the One Piece anime, and it's Shanks, giving Luffy the hat. Like, that's the core of the series. Don't muddle it. It's just, it's gonna get messy, and so it's kind of, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a good comparison with it. It's like, ooh, no, you messed this up now. Like midichlorians is up there.
Because it's like
I was thinking Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
We were same brain there.
Anakin Skywalker is probably better.
I'm hoping that it's just kind of like, what, it's for the best, but it it might cheapen a little bit, but just don't. This it's you can't do this. Oh, every it's like, it was every little thing was planned and all that. I just
like turning it into like the butterfly effect thing where it's all related.
Well,
and it's almost better.
I feel like that stuff has only made some stories worse. The only thing I can think of right now is kind of Metal Gear Solid, where it's just like the more you wade into that, the less special things felt. And but I feel very strongly about Shanks' relationship with Luffy here. I just Joey, you were gonna say something?
Oh, I just feel like it's almost feels better to me if it's like fate, if it's like sort of a bunch of coincidences that are being pushed by maybe some sort of overall repetitive history fate thing that Oda's been building, rather than Shanks being like, this is my master plan.
Yes.
He's Aizen from Bleach.
And I was thinking of that too. And but I didn't read enough of Bleach to really kind of get pissed off by that. But it's like it's the panel with everyone's favorite whoop slap, just saying like destiny or his fate. And no, actually it was just a carefully orchestrated plan this whole time.
All according to Keikaku, I have to say, I'm contractually obligated.
All I could do is kind of just put like a vibe out there, just a warning. I'm just like, just be careful messing with this stuff. Because it could really harm. It could just really harm like what good
franchise
some of these moments in the story did. Yeah,
I agree. I agree with you 100%. But I would also, from Oda's point of view,
it'd be like if like in Sanji's flashback, if it turned out the reason why no ships showed up is because like someone who hated Sanji just kept blowing them up, so they wouldn't go near the deserted little island that would be stupid. Zeph and Sanji were on. Like, it's stuff like that. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. What makes that story so compelling, it's just everything just happens the way it does, because
there doesn't need to be 10 layers to everything.
Sorry. I think, and this is something we haven't talked about in a while, it's the Kuina thing with like, oh, like her death was faked and all that. And I'm like, if Kuina faked her death, that ruins Zoro's motivation. It just completely
deflates
trashes his dream, his backstory, and all that. It just makes it all a lie, and I just don't. That's not the story One Piece is trying to tell. But also, One Piece has been going on for a really long time, so it's got to do things to keep things fresh. All I could just say is just tread carefully, please.
Just since we're on the topic, and I don't know if I want to continue. I mean, we could, I 100% agree. I would say from Oda's point of view, if he's gonna have to tell Shanks' story at some point, and I don't really think there is any way that you could tell that story that wouldn't change your view. Like when when you get the full scope of something, it's going to change your perspective on the original event. Like, once you hear my story about how I started the podcast or, whatever, I don't have a good example, but, that's not a excuse as much as it's a reason if he F's it up here. But I will keep my faith in Oda, to do this in a way that you have, I think, laid out. That I like that almost makes fatalism sound much better than the hyper detailed plan oriented, but also that part makes no sense to me, like on its face. I think that would be almost the worst sin of that. I mean, beyond all the very bad sins you mentioned, is like that makes no sense just on its face. That fifth dimensional chess thing that Shanks is maybe doing, like, no, that doesn't really fit. But Steve, anything I guess beyond
it kind of just feels like yeah, I guess this might be this. Yeah, I guess it's a great moment. It's something fun to react to, but then it's just in hindsight, it's like, I guess it kind of cheapens a lot of things a bit. I can think of I always forget this dude's name. I was just talking about him a week ago and I couldn't remember it. And then I was flipping through my favorite cards because I was moving stuff around my shelf. A Conjurer,
Spencer, right?
No, Spencer.
Spencer.
Of course.
No, so to give you the
the Conjurer heel turn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, that was a twist, but doesn't really ruin too much.
No, because who cares? It's Conjurer.
Yeah, it's Conjurer.
Yeah.
Oda knew what he was doing there.
Conjurer for us.
Yeah.
The one who looked like a McDonald's.
It did, but it did recontextualize all those funny scenes of him, like, drawing crappy animals.
It actually improved.
I was a little sad by that.
Oh no, but it improved. It it did add a level of humor, I think, to it actually. Like the fact that he was using his non-dominant hand.
Conjuro's not the core of One Piece.
No.
Even though we've never had a character as funny as Conjuro.
There is one person out there who disagrees. I don't know who that is, but there is definitely one person who disagrees.
I just think like this, and like you could say like, oh, it's just, it's tired. It's nothing. Nothing that
he also
unique,
really hinted at that, like a lot.
An old generation building up the next generation. That's what One Piece is. That's what it always is. I don't like it.
Steve, thoughts on the chapter?
I would rather. It's basically tied to the chapter. It's a great chapter.
Oh, yeah.
But it's tied to the root of the themes of One Piece. And then if you want to just do an interesting heel turn, or not even like a heel turn, but just like if it was like, all right, now just to put my arm out, so this. This ant. Just cut it off yourself, Shanks. Like God damn it.
I think.
They put a "don't cut this" spell on it. So
your brother's name is Shunk. You can't just cut off an arm.
If he tries to cut it off, the tattoo will explode. And
it's just like
needs super hockey to turn it off. No,
this tattoo will self-destruct. Yes,
I seriously, like, it makes no sense. We're like, oh, if you just want his arm off, you could have just cut it off.
I think what we're reacting to, or like the discourse that is happening, is it's people picking up on obviously what Oda wants us to do at this point, and what he's been kind of stealthily doing ever since that that scene from the Reverie, is he wants us to think like, what's the deal with Shanks? Like, could he actually be a bad guy? And that's like sort of laying the foundation for the reveal of Shamrock. So like, okay, so he has a twin brother and he's part of the Celestial Dragon family. And he wants us to think, of course, like on the surface, that like Shanks, this is the reveal. This is him playing his hand of like, oh my God, Shanks is evil. Like, he hated everything in his previous life. Oh my God, what could this be? We're too savvy to get caught by that. We're obviously like, oh, well, this is clearly, this is clearly like Shanks is putting on an act to fit in with his surroundings. But like, okay, well, we can see through that. We know that this is just Shanks putting on an act. And so people are now trying to say like, okay, well, but it can't be that simple. There has to be another layer to it. When I think they're just like, like they see through what Oda is doing, and so they're assuming that there must be even more to it. When I think
100%.
What we can tell is what we've got and what Oda is working on, and so that's where like a lot of this discourse is coming from. Is like people that can't they can't stand the thought of like, oh, I figured out what Oda is doing. So what if he's doing something even more than that? And yeah, I
think it's just modern media consumption, just reaction to it is kind of just like, it's Odin Ghost.
Yeah, I will say it's
Odin Ghost.
It's very funny that we have the scene where they're like, there was a rat. Somebody opened up the armory, and then like literally one panel later, like, hey, here's Shanks. He hasn't been here for 24 years. Who is this mysterious stranger?
Not now, Shanks. We're trying to find out who could have broken here.
Shanks is wearing the hot dog costume.
Yes,
and he's like,
who could have possibly done this?
Steve.
There it is.
Yeah,
Steve,
don't worry.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm calling that, but there you go. No, that's I think that's really your answer right there. Steve, did you have any other thoughts? I want to let Steve also.
And I really rambled on a lot.
No, I mean I get it. I do that literally every week. Steven.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add to like the Shank stuff. I think we covered that. I did really enjoy this chapter, and while it does have a an emotional moment at the end. Loki has probably the most heartwarming act of mass murder that we've seen in the series.
That's a good title. Yeah, go ahead.
I do like that even though aside from that, it's not really an emotion. It's not like a hit you in the feels type of chapter. It's one of those like, you could call it a lore dump, I guess, but it's just kind of tying together a lot of loose ends. But it's the sort of chapter that for me is a lot of fun to work on. Like there's just a lot of good writing. There's all these expository sort of paragraphs that he writes and then splits into like 20 different speech bubbles. Like those are always kind of fun to they're a fun little puzzle to like try to work into understandable sentences. It's one of Oda's sort of style hallmarks, and we got some really cool stuff. A lot of like neat hints about things and like sort of half reveals or acknowledgments. Like the thing with Loki and Shirahoshi was real fun. It was interesting to learn about these covenants that the baddies share with Imu, and even if it is obviously like Zach was I think it was Zach was saying that the Luffy face that Harold makes where he's like, whoa, yeah, this is great, I'll do anything you ask of me. Like it's just so pathetic to see him acting like that, knowing what we know about the characters. I don't know, it's just a lot of neat stuff, even if there is some questions about sort of continuity and retconning and stuff like that. which Oda might have some plausible deniability on, like we said, with the Fisher Tiger, like, changing between the pages and stuff like that. But ultimately, it's not stuff that I am super hung up on, so I don't particularly care. That's a problem for the people that put together those like chronology of every event of One Piece. That's for them to worry about. Yeah. I'm not really keeping score on a lot of that stuff.
Vivre cards. It's for the Vivre card authors.
Vivre cards. Yeah. But I just that was a very rich chapter. A lot to chew on.
I think I could make it short because I think Steve kind of put together that argument like I was gonna like that is a good. The whole Shanks thing is a great example of why I need to pay attention on my first read through a little bit more, because I'm much more gullible the first time I read it, which is, I think, people read One Piece generally, and I have to remind myself of this, pretty like, okay, I'm on a train, oh, I'm on the toilet, oh, whatever, I'm reading my manga, and they're not, going panel by panel, dissecting every little thing, thinking, oh yeah, in chapter 904 this happened. I mean, yes, there's a lot of those, and we are part of that community, but I think this is, remember that Oda is trying to trick the usual reader. He's not trying to play fifth dimensional chess with you or us. Like, we are, I think, included in that you. Much like, what was the Simpsons thing? Anyway, I did want to say, I thought this chapter was excellent from a storytelling perspective in particular. I'm like looking at this first page with the other Shaggy, the Casey Kasem Shaggy that we talked about. I love how the story is kind of told through different anecdotes of like different random people. I don't think I've seen him do it quite like this. Like, you'll see people reacting to an event, but to see people like describing an event is a fun way to do it. This chapter also felt very cinematic. Like, we didn't talk about Big Mom's tremendous face on the second spread. Like, I love, because it's like younger Big Mom doing like her older, like maniacal face. It's excellent. They all look great there. Kaido, we all know, is stupid, and so this makes it even more fun to see him trying to act cool. I will say, you can talk about God Valley negatively if you want, but if you badmouth Kaido's role in that, beyond that, yeah, I mean, I love the way this is all composed. Oh, I want to mention even just like the going underwater thing on page 8 at the top, like literally diving down below the Holy Land to Fishman Island. Excellent. I love that too. Yeah, this I look, I think we discussed how this flashback has kind of felt like a book within a book within a book, and I think, yes, I agree, I think, with the folks here that you look, the God Valley stuff I think is important to the series as a whole, but like the story of Loki in particular is by far the most moving stuff. I liked Steven's way of putting it. It's the most heartwarming act of mass murder you've ever seen, because it makes you well up almost. Like, this is really like beautiful in a way. I mean, first of all, these guys deserved it. Despite Steve's excellent prospector voices, they all absolutely deserve it.
You can't trust all prospectors.
What? This is news to me.
Have you not watched Toy Story 2?
No, fair.
Sorry, not to cut you off too much. I'm like, I don't want to just insist that I was ready to just dog on God Valley again. It's not lost on me that there's been just like, and this, okay, now we're 5 years or so after God Valley. It's kind of like, that's the only mention of it. Like, we're not really seeing it. Like,
Go ahead.
Are we feeling the after effects, or are we just like, want to see how bad the government is? Check out this.
Let me
now back to our regular story.
Yeah, no, let me say, I think I really appreciate Oda trying, especially as we seem to be wrapping this up. I really appreciate Oda trying something completely new in his flashback formula. Like, this is different than his normal shtick when it comes to flashbacks. And I think I will grow to appreciate it. Like, let's be honest, in the moment, in the present, the Loki stuff and the Herald stuff is what feels which brings up the most feeling for me. Yes, but I think at the end of the day, the most memorable stuff will probably be the stuff in God Valley and with Rocks, because that stuff is going to come back. So when you're reading the story later on, so I'm gonna, like, I do want to stick up for the God Valley stuff. I think I don't even think the placement's haphazard. I think it works because Rocks turns Harold into this bootlicker. Like, that's like accidentally. Like, by
Rocks did?
Yeah, well, it was Rox's death that really spurred on Harold to turn into like this tragic irony sort of figure. Like, I'll avenge you by doing exactly the opposite of what you told me. Like, Rox's relationship with Harold is crucial. And Rox's stand on God Valley, I think, really defines that character. Like, the stuff that happens before that is great and all, but like, I think Rox's ultimate, like, just complete defeat and his complete, like, without fanfare, is like an excellent character piece, particularly transposed with Harold and like how that just gets even worse. It like, there is a narrative. There is one narrative.
It's just a really big
this.
narrative.
It's just a very big narrative that spans literally over a century of story, which is, I think, why it feels so dense.
I'll just say, while it's not, God Valley is not terrible or anything like that. I just want to stress that.
I know people listening.
I just think it was like, it felt like a monster truck show.
Yes.
And all my favorite trucks were there. And now we're back to a story where there's a bit more, there's heart here. It's not like there's more of the found family stuff, the stuff that I'm familiar with One Piece. I'm like, this is more what I like. And it's not saying that the other stuff is bad. It's like, and there is some intrigue there with Garp and all that, but it really kind of felt like,
Isn't it like WrestleMania where the show is like 8 hours long?
Yeah.
And people are like, oh my God.
Now it's like 2 nights, but yeah. Yeah, there's the WrestleManias that are kind of like, yeah, like this is fun and spectacle and all, but this other pay-per-view that happens in like September was actually really good, and that was actually the best show they've done all year. But people are like, no, WrestleMania,
You know what?
There was a Pop-Tart there or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think there's something for everyone in this flashback because there's a lot. Like, there just has to be quantitatively. I did enjoy it all because I up to where we are at this moment, obviously we're not done, but like I feel like as we're closing the third of the 3 books in this flashback, I could say I think everything. I think the story, he took a detour that he felt he needed to take. And I want to read this all in a row, and I'm very excited to read this all in a row to see like how it really works. But yeah, I stand by what I said before. I think the Loki stuff and the Herald stuff, but particularly the Loki stuff, is the most moving, but the most memorable stuff. But I mean, there'll be the Loki, some of it will be extremely memorable, don't get me wrong, but I think God Valley will be the most relevant in the future, which, I think is obvious. Yeah, like that just
when that anime adaptation comes around. Oh boy.
Yeah.
There's only one living character here who still has more story to tell, and that's Loki. And this is everything we're gonna get for Rox and Harold. So you would imagine so.
And also,
if I could,
please, Joey. Yeah.
Oh, just interject. This is a bit of a swerve, but talking so much about God Valley reminded me. A thing I wanted to point out, which we kind of alluded to, is in that first page, the kind of fake out that Oda does with the talking about the Florian Triangle and stuff.
Yes.
With the God Valley is actually thriller bark theory that I kind of like, but I know like friend of the podcast Ken is a big proponent of that. I just thought it was very funny, especially because the One Piece the One Piece website previews the first page before the chapter comes out, and just looking at that first page, I was definitely like rubbing my hands together, being like, "Here we go! They're talking about the Florian Triangle. They're talking about somebody in the mist who's like very frightening. Oh, he's human-like. That's interesting. What could that be?" And yeah, it was not anything like that at all.
By the way, page 2. In truth, this monster was Harold.
Well, no, it says it wasn't even close. So
then we all found out it was Harold.
The Meki guy who ruins Ken's theory personally. I love that design. I know we mentioned that, but that might be one of my favorite. Like,
he looks like a Popeye character.
He is a Popeye character. He's got the anchor. I love it. That character, more of him. I like this chapter, I will say, and this is a high compliment. I see so many SBSs coming out of just this chapter. Like, what was this guy doing? Why were the hearts in the background here of page 1? What was this? Like, that I love that. I mean, Oda knows the things. He's doing those things on purpose, and he'll be like, okay, I'll explain that in SBS because a reader shouldn't have to concern themselves with what the name of the lovey-dovey person is in the background of page 1. I will end by saying I think the thing that this flashback has done really well is give, I would say, at least 3 to 4 like really good character studies, like really good character stories. I think the Loki stuff will stick in my head the most. This page, the one of him climbing that cliff. Also, he doesn't have infant amnesia is interesting, that he remembers being a toddler, or not toddler, infant, climbing that's like really gutting. There's a reason you forget some stuff, his story has been great. I just wonder, okay, would his story have been better without all the stuff in the middle? Like, not to say that those are bad stories, but it's like, did it detract from it? I don't know the answer to that right now. But his story, maybe it's me being a parent now, is like extremely moving to me. So is Harold's for the same reason. Actually, Ida's particularly, and we actually didn't talk about her illness disease too much, but Ida is such an incredible character. I love Ida, and we all knew she was gonna die. I do think that, okay, he obviously gave into the trope of fridging women, I guess, the killing moms, having mom disease. However, the way it is done here, I think, is the best he's done it. If that's high praise, okay, or low praise, more likely.
But she was murdered?
Like, she was, but like, specifically as, Loki's, like, what an adorable, beautiful way to commit mass murder.
Her story kind of runs parallels with Shanks right now, where it's like you have these people who are like, oh, like our bloodline, where it's like is, it's like we're righteous, like we're like we deserve everything, and this is Shamrock and Shanks here. It's even though Shanks shares blood, but it's something that's always been in One Piece, with just this caste system and classism and all that. So
it's a very real life thing. So yeah.
I'll say it's a better excuse to fridge a woman than like, oh, she walked down crime alley, and some faceless goons, got her. Like, it's at least there's a story reason.
She is so front and center. She is like so crucial to Harold and Loki as people. Like, the good in both of them is because of her, and that I think is like a really excellent thing to see. However, her living would be great too, but if we're changing our what do you call
it would have solved all of Elbaf's problems, then we wouldn't have a story. So I guess that's
I mean,
that's his mindset.
Harold dies too, to be fair, and more importantly, Eris was living, as far as we know. So Blackbeard really is the one who, maybe that's what happens in One Piece if your mom lives. you become the villain.
You turn evil. Yeah.
You learn your mom lives long enough for you to become the villain. That's the line, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll leave it there. Just like I want to give my props to Ida again, because and Loki does as well, and Hyruden does, and I love those. What is it? Only like 2 pages are just so excellent. I mean, that's why the chapter was named after it. It just really great to see. But the bootlicking, not a fan. But it creates a really interesting character study generally. I do story-wise enjoy that. Any other thoughts on the chapter? We have pieced together. Steven won't be here, but I'll still ask all the questions directed to him.
Okay.
Any translation things you want to get off your chest?
My leftovers.
You want to listen?
No, I think I well, yeah, I don't know what the questions are, so we'll just find out and be disappointed together.
Yay. Okay, we'll see you after the break. This is the most heartwarming act of piece together we've ever done, where we take your questions, comments, and theories and then murder them. Let's start with Dispiece, which are questions from our Discord channel, exclusively from our patrons. So become one at patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. It's the perfect gift for the holidays to yourself. I'm so good at this. Just so great. Anyway, first one comes from the Sleigh Bell King, parenthetical sleigh. Hello, my fellow big book of fish readers. I'm sorry, it's a big British book of fish, and I believe you might. Are you British? I don't know if this person's British. They might be.
I think they may be Australian.
Oh, well, Commonwealth readers. What a roller coaster of a chapter. I wasn't too happy with Fisher Tiger needing help to escape, and couldn't help but get irked when Ida was shown sick in bed, knowing what was going to come, but it had some cool moments too, like Loki showing his love for Ida, even if he took it too far. I don't think he took it too far. That's my commentary. And the Saul moment was sweet. To get my mind off some of those, tell me, what other moments in the One Piece, in the world of One Piece, did good old Saint Shanks play a hand in? Did he break Shiki out of Impel Down? Did he save Pell from that blast? Did he even tell Kaido to jump off that sky island? God, he did that. Wrong answers only, or the cat Mr. Cutiekins will be sad. Have a great week, meow. Maybe meow. See, that's what you could do if you're a patron. Steve?
I love this played a hand in, so I'm guessing this is after he met Luffy.
I do like the idea of wrong answers only. What did Shanks affect in One Piece? Which is, I guess, what the question is.
He caused Zeph's shipwreck.
He did what Steve mentioned earlier as the possible.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, that is worse. What else did he do? I don't. He somehow convinced Usopp's dad to not come home. Oh, wait a second.
Oh no, he did.
He did do
That's
that.
True. Oh, he
pushed Quina down the stairs.
There you go.
Okay, now I want all these images of him just showing up in random places. Someone just photoshopping him in the background. What about his baby conqueror hockey is what caused God Valley to collapse?
Oh,
yeah. I am positive someone had that theory. There is no way someone on the internet did not come up with that.
Shanks was the one that poisoned all the rum bar pirates.
Ooh.
He told Gaimon about the island with the treasure chests.
No.
Oh, God.
No.
Joey's good at writing some, like, I was gonna say hackney bullshit.
Oh, that too.
Don't take it personally, Joey.
He knows what to avoid.
Yes.
How could he do that to Gaimon? Or he introduced Sarfunkel to Gaimon. That's another thing he did.
Nice.
Well, that's
I think it's nice. I don't think it ruins anything. I think it's
Shanks saved Pell. Shanks just flew in with like the propeller backpack and just I don't know.
Yeah, it's the thing that Mo used in that.
Yes, exactly.
The boxing episode. Yeah. Oh my god, that's so excellent.
He also delivered devil fruits to all the characters in the series. So
when Pagaya pushed Konus out of the way of Eneru's attack, then Shanks pushed Pagaya out of the way.
You know what this is like? Remember, is it Minato? Not Minato. The guy who fixes doors. Shanks is like that
Minato.
For all other major plot.
To make
faults.
everything just worse and more contrived.
Yeah,
he trained Minatomo on carpeting. So
that's true. That door would have never been fixed if
He
not for
fed
Shanks.
Chopper the human fruit.
That's true.
Wait, get this. Shanks is Panda Man. Have you thought about it like that?
No.
Next question. And he's right not to. Usopp the Great says, hey, OPP. Well, that settles the not Scooby question, I would say. I say give yourselves a pat on the back for that deduction. Feels good to be right once in a while, but you have to add that it's surprise. You have to agree. I think there's a typo.
Scooby? What are we talking about here?
Better. Not Scooby is Shaggy, I believe, is what he's referring to.
Oh, funny.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Hey, Straw Hat Pirate 9 says, hey, OPP, long time no Dispy sent. This chapter was so good. I wonder if Greg is super proud of his guess of Shirahoshi being Shaggy on the snail. We did talk about this, because that sure seems to be the case now. I like Shanks helping Fisher save the slaves. Causes someone who has to keep saying no way is Shanks evil. Even now with the twin, this validates me and I dig it. Love Loki with all my heart. I want that large boy on the boat. Get the floaty and attach it to the Sunny. But damn it, Oda, couldn't you have spared just one mom? We know Eris is gonna have to die. That's true, but she's alive now. And by now I mean in the past. Anyway, let Ida live, damn it. Lastly, I don't know if you talk about the absolutely atrocious AI dubbing Amazon did with Banana Fish or other stupid choices that Crunchyroll is making using I won't name doesn't matter if I name the program for their subtitles and translations, but oh my god, the amount of dumb that is showing up in the dub subtitles for One Piece is so bad. I've sent screenshots of it to the One Piece anime channel. You should send it to us, by the way. I don't know if I've seen those specific ones, but I assume everyone else here has. To the One Piece anime channel to keep it to just Dispiece messages here. Hope people mass message Crunchyroll and Amazon. We need to fix/stop this fast. I do agree with that. I know Jeff, Mother's Basement friend of the show, has been pushing that.
Are these the regular subtitles or are these?
So these are the subtitles.
I don't know if they mean the
closed
YouTube
captioning over the dub.
Maybe they mean
Is
the
this what
YouTube ones, because they also do English versions of those. But maybe she means the ones on Crunchyroll.
Because I hadn't seen anything specifically about AI subtitling with One Piece. I know that
Amazon has done a bunch.
Stuff has been happening with there's the AI dub coming out of Amazon, which
okay.
It's funny now when it sounds bad, but it will sound better in a few years and it won't be so funny.
No, the Straw Hat Pirate 9 is watching the dub on Crunchyroll. And I was aware they already had some AI closed captions here that suck. Like Sanchi is Mr. Sanchez. We will now.
Good. We're back to Sunkissed.
Yes.
It's funny how this goes full circle. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna.
AI is the Hong Kong.
I'm gonna go out on the One Piece anime the way I came in, I guess. Yeah.
With Sunkissed and Mr. Or what were the other ones? There were some really crazy ones.
Crookboo,
Liar Boo.
And those
I
early
think it was Liar
scanlations
Boo,
too.
and then they switched it to Crookboo, which is even dumber.
By the way, AI would definitely have called him Bisaromi Bear. 100%.
AI subtitles would have called it the Pirate Summit.
They would have. So here's the question. Are very bad translations from the early aughts worse or better, and not morally, just like substantively, than AI subtitles? That's a question I'll leave for the listeners out there. Morally, obviously, significantly worse somehow.
But something we kind of that's kind of escaped the discussion here is like the AI dub for Banana Fish. That really sucks.
that was
it's just
that news was this week, right? I don't
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
No, it's very bad.
it's corporate greed. They just
I think also, having been more quote unquote offline recently over the last few months at least, I think a lot of lay people do not realize how shitty AI is generally.
And if you don't know, just check your Facebooks
or LinkedIn. I think we discussed that a few weeks ago being a very it's speaking of like the lowest depths, that's the abyssal version of social media. There's a lot of those though. X is actually probably Twitter, formerly Twitter. Okay, let's move on because this is going to get depressing. We don't do that here on the One Piece podcast. SNP says, "Heyo, OPP, another translation question for Steven. Perfect. Not going to even ask it. Bring it back next week." But seriously, resubmit it. I assume Steven will be on next week, and if he's not, submit it again. But I think it was kind of answered because it was about the 13 individuals and whether it's like 2 tiers or 1. So you heard Steven's thoughts on that.
Yeah.
Steven kind of covered that.
I disagree with Steven, but Steven's the one who's right more often, so you should believe him. I am aware.
And he read it in Japanese. I don't know. It's still, I feel like it works better as a 3 tier, but maybe that's just the rule of 3s for me. Like you can just have 2. A Loki keyring says, "Ahoy, Shanks Peace Podcast banger chapter as always. I'm losing my mind at the fact that Shanks joined the Holy Knights of God, even if probably for ulterior motives and only for a short while. That theory I saw ages back about him losing the arm not just for Luffy's sake, but also to lose the mark is feeling more and more real every moment. Whilst I'm about raging at Oda for probably making Ida croak, those last few pages with Loki are so emotional where he finally admits he truly loves her." Agreed. Do you think secretly Loki high-key loves his brother too? Or does Loki love his brother or not at all? How could you do this? How could this reader do this to me and a listener? Homophones. He has the key to his brother's heart.
There it is. I think he does. Haven't we been saying since we first met Loki that he's like a sweetheart at he's obviously just fronting. S&P has another question. This one I think we will maybe be able to answer. "Hey OPP, it's me again. I saw someone post in the manga channel that seems like the original Japanese for depth and abyssal covenant or deep sea and deep sea contract," which I think Stephen did mention. "It makes me wonder if there is an actual sea like that beneath the normal blue sea, since there's a white and white sea high up on this in the sky, and like Wispy, one of our Discord members pointed out, when they go down to Fishman Island, there was a talk about surface current and deep current that lead to the deep sea, where it's pitch black. Is that the same thing? And is there actually one level deeper than this?"
The abyss, as depicted by James Cameron. Yeah.
Wasn't there also like a old novel called that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just thinking of the novel by the James Cameron movie. I think it might be getting to the point where it's either metaphorical, or since there are actual demons and devils that seem to be showing up in the series, maybe referring to that which is deeper than the actual ocean. Like the sea that's below is hell. Because if you're living on a planet where everything is ocean, that would be the deepest of them. So it might just be like a poetic way of saying that.
Mm-hmm. Which kind of goes back to the Davy Jones's locker thing.
True.
Which is interesting. That's cool.
Yeah. I am interested to see how he weaves that story into the series, but that's a whole other tangent. Two more from Discord. Sailor Karna says, "Hey OPP, I hope you had a good holiday and got to spend some quality time with your family. Me, I'm still mad at Harold. He should be at home regulating his people instead of being a lapdog to the government. Ida deserves better." Ida falsely, I think, believes that he knows what he's doing. Yeah, it's really
It's
Harold is
shonen. Husbands aren't gonna listen to their wives, or
and Harold's also kind of like this well-intentioned idiot at the end of the day. And by I use the word idiot like naive, I think might be a better word. He's like well-intentioned with a ton of naivete about how the world works, despite being told how the world works.
Also, it seems like long-distance transponder snails are a commodity in this society, so not a whole lot of cell phones, not a whole lot of texting going on here.
Yeah, I did like that they specifically mentioned what that was. Although Shaggy and Loki must be talking using something pretty long distance. I forgot the name of that snail specifically, but I think it was something. It wasn't called a long distance snail.
It has to do with it's cold, I think.
Right? Maybe. I mean, that's what it looked like. Last question comes from Reverse Eye Scar. I get it. OPP, why wasn't Saul one of the giants recruited in this flashback? Do you think he joined earlier or later? Earlier. Because he was a vice admiral a long time ago.
I don't know. He just wasn't.
Yeah, I was going to say later. Maybe.
Well, he wasn't one of the Mother Carmel like orphans. Like he wasn't of that generation.
Yeah.
Sorry, let me go back and look at the chapter.
If we see more of him in this flashback or not. Like if he witnesses what Harold does at the end and stuff.
I don't think. Well, no, that's the other thing that Saul, the Owl Library stuff is obviously after O'Hara. I need to remember, but O'Hara was how long ago?
Robin was 8.
Let me look it up.
So it was 22 years ago?
It was 22 years ago. And that's when Gold Roger was executed, was 22? Right? Because it was 20 years and then the time skip. Is that right, Steve? I trust you. You read the manga.
Not sure about that.
Okay. Gold Roger execution was not. Why does this not immediately show up?
We need one of those darn timelines we were making fun of people for making.
I wasn't making fun of them. I just don't have that kind of patience. Okay. I think it was 22 years ago. That's like should be the most obvious thing, and I hear
because Ace is
everyone.
Ace is like 2 years older than Luffy, right? He was 20.
Ace is
3 years. He was 20, I think, when he was introduced in the series.
And Luffy is today 19. He was 17, so he was 20. Yeah, there you go. He was born the same time he was executed because of the long labor that Rouge had, as we all remember. Using this math, the thing people listen to us for, I forgot what we were talking about.
It's determined that Saul did something at some point.
No. Yeah. So the stuff that happens when they're showing, so Saul had already left the Marines when we see that's what I was trying to determine. So I was trying to say a smart thing in a very dumb way.
So I guess it depends on how long he'd been in service before that.
He had been, he was a vice admiral, so you would think he had been through it. John Giant is still like what? A captain or something? He's nothing.
I don't know. They brought what's his name? The blind
he's a vice admiral.
Admiral.
You know what?
I know, but they brought him in immediately.
That's true.
Made him an admiral.
Anyway, more John Giant talk another time. I know we're all champing at the bit for that one. Let's see if we got anything on Reddit.
Fujitora. Jesus. Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
Sorry, I didn't realize you were
Fujitora's
struggling.
name?
Yeah, Isho Fujitora.
Okay, we got Reddit. We're gonna head to the subreddit archipelago, and someone made so first one comes from Ice Fisher, who I know also is on our Blue Sky, who actually made a chart using the different I don't know if he did this or someone else did it, but the different zones of like how deep the ocean goes. But I like my metaphorical abyss better, I was gonna say. Versus like the trenches under, anyway, everyone can have their own theory, and I'm often wrong, so it's fine. Human Comfort 3945, immediately suspicious when someone has the word human in there. Anyway, this is actually apt. I went to the Art of Manga exhibit last week that highlighted a few mangakas, including Oda and One Piece. There was an entire room of One Piece highlights. My question is, if you wanted one scene from One Piece hung in an art gallery, I thought they were gonna say in my room, to show that One Piece is a piece of art.
It belongs in a
what
museum,
would you
Zach.
pick? It wasn't a museum. Isn't the Art of Manga? Is it not in a museum?
Not in your room.
the
It
exhibit?
belongs
It
in a
is in a
museum,
museum.
Zach.
No, I don't care. I want it. Steve, what would you choose?
You know, if the Enaru face wasn't in this exhibit, I would have been like, there you go. But I mean, it's a contender. I think because, like, what would be a great page out of context? Like it wouldn't. Like, I would not do something like.
Are we talking about color spreads too? Or
no,
like
color spreads are too
just-
easy. So take them out.
That is too easy because a lot of them I would be picking.
Another Skypea page that they had is the
Mhm.
Breaking of the Bell, which is a really beautiful page to see in person. So yeah, maybe kind of a Skypea highlights.
I think it would.
Yeah,
go ahead, Joey.
No, Fishman Island, all that stuff, the descent down into
Oh.
Fishman Island, they had a
Those
scene
are
from that,
amazing.
which has some
The-
really beautiful,
Sorry, Joey.
like screen tone work in it. And I think but it was only one spread that they had, and if you had that whole sequence, I think it would have been really beautiful to see.
Like the anglerfish 2-page spread.
That's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. That is probably one of my favorite 2-page spreads. Period. Art wise, like I remember in that Fishman Island descent, you could, if you want to talk about the word hype, which I would not use, but that is like the art was just so gorgeous in that early Fishman, like before they got to Fishman Island stuff. Like,
Yeah.
God, it's
how you
beautiful.
feel about that arc storyline wise is irrelevant, but like, that is some of my
Yeah.
favorite artwork from Oda. Some
Oda,
great stuff
yeah,
around
like
that time.
if I'll say specifically Thriller Bark and that part of Fishman Island are worth opening a volume for if you've only watched the anime of those. Like his art, I'd say that whole period, obviously, but like those are like real standout moments for him. That in the anime are not reflected quite as well. I'm trying to think of an answer. I'm like, for me, it would have to be something that filled up the whole page, I think. Although it doesn't need to be, but I feel like there's just so few of those. Like, even just the Blackbeard, Luffy, and Jaya would be a great one.
Yeah, that was there.
Oh, okay. That's the thing. Most of those moments would be there because those are like the big impact moments. I mean, the 5 Elder crazy thing, was that one there? I'm assuming.
I don't think so. Yeah, that would have been cool to see all those.
Yeah, of a recent one. That's a good one. I anything with Kizaru or the pacifistas, particularly during Marineford, because he's so good at that shading thing with lasers. Like, I've always been a huge fan of that personally.
Maybe a
So-
spread with Zunisha.
You just want an elephant.
Yeah.
which I agree, but I know what you want. Color it purple. Next one comes from Upstairs Jackfruit 1. These are all the most suspicious names. I'm very suspicious. Anyway. Hey OPP, Greg coming in once again with his future sight. I did find it a bit weird.
Greg's so powerful. People just ascribe this to
it's
him.
like this it's funny. It's like this. Well, I did the same thing. Yeah, it's this weird Mandela effect.
Yeah, I forgot that it was a piece together question that turned into
the thing that's so fun about that episode as a listener. Is just that like Greg is totally like knocked off his feet by that theory and is like being like, oh my god, and so it's actually
he buys into it.
I felt
slowly.
like it was very memorable that it wasn't his idea, that it was somebody else.
You're right, but that assumes that I have any memory. But you're absolutely right. It is good because he goes through these like I would give Greg some % of credit in that he does like kind of evidence why it has to be Shirahoshi. Like, not just that it's a theory, but like he really added a lot of weight to the idea that you would generally just push aside.
I think Greg is the one who kind of like ended up putting 2 and 2 together, that like this could lead to them actually being a kind of married couple that unites these two nations, you know. Which I think is very cool.
And if that does indeed happen, we should give him at least 30 to 40% of the credit for this. Which please send your credit to Greg. I don't have his address on me, but you know, I'm not going to dox him here. The question here, I did find it a bit, or the comment, I did find it a bit weird that Neptune ignored Harold's symbol on his arm. Surely he would have questions about that, considering the Fishman's history. Love the podcast. Keep up the great work. Good work. Sorry. I upped that a little. Cheers.
Thank you.
Also,
Neptune, he was saying?
Why didn't Neptune mention the... Oh.
Because that was earlier, right?
No, that was later.
20 years prior.
Oh, when did he get the tattoo?
Doesn't it like zoom back in time to show them
No, he got the tattoo
out?
first, and then he sees Neptune, and his tattoo is on his arm.
Oh, you know what? I was not thinking. It says 20 years ago, meaning 20 years from now. When I was thinking it was like now 20 years ago in the flashback from another time. Yeah. Okay, I see what you mean.
Yeah, that's why Oda wrote
my mistake.
5 years after God Valley at the beginning, so you could like adjust your. It does get confusing.
Yeah.
2 more on here. Does the tattoo work like this from the Sea Kings? Who are asking us a question. Does the tattoo work like devil fruits? Just like how Big Mom got her powers by eating the person, can the Lord of the Coast teleport around the world now? That's a great question.
At least
I hope.
Until it digests.
Yeah. Like we talked about him being a tattoo removal artist potentially, but we didn't talk about him having the ability to teleport. Maybe he never actually was killed. Maybe he just teleported away at the last second. He was punched by Luffy. He wasn't actually killed.
No, he was not killed.
Oh, next time. Taffy Lackey has the last one here. Yo ho ho OPP. I think it'd be rather funny if Loki is Shirahoshi's type, but he's disappointed that she isn't Shaggy like her dad. Maybe he'd mistake Neptune for her. Well, we do know that Loki proposed to Lola. We haven't seen that yet. Right? Wasn't that?
No, I'm very curious to see how that fits in. I think that's like machinations by the parents rather than actually Loki. Maybe, I don't know.
But also, he wouldn't want to be part of a pirate crew. You know, the Harold. Like he's so he's just destroying random pirate crews out there. You know, morals be damned. You know. Anyway, we also are going to head to Blue Skypea. We have a couple here, not a ton. Which, if you give me 1 second, the first Blue Skypea is. These are all about other things. 1 second. Here we go. First one comes from the only one, also from Ice Fisher Tenacity. It says What does COM stand for? I am genuinely devastated community. I am genuinely devastated Ida is on the chopping block. She doesn't deserve this. I am begging Oda to subvert the trope this time. Question. I am a little confused why Loki would refer to Estrid as his real mother. In my mind, real mom is closer to true mom than birth mom. That might just be that sounds like just like semantic. Like, I don't mean that as an insult, like it is a semantic choice. Estrid's the where does he say? I remember what my real mother did. But the way he says it is like the difference between my friends and my crew and one of us, like the Nakama kind of distinctions that we used to talk about back in the day. Like, that's what my real mother did, but she's the only mother I have. Like, I think you need to my birth mother, I guess he could have said.
Yeah, I think it's just a choice of words
From Steven, I
don't think
but
it's
maybe it's Oda, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't know. I understood what it meant immediately when I read it.
Yes, me too.
Tripped me up.
I get the semantic, argument there. And again, I'm using semantic in a non-pejorative sense. Yeah, but I get it. That's it for Piece Together, though. We'll talk about how Estrid sucks on another episode. But for now, let's round off. This has been the One Piece Podcast, episode 895 for December 1st, 2025. Steve, great to have you back. Joey, great to have you back. Thanks to Ed, who had to take off. Thanks to Steven, who had to take off. And thanks to, and we're sorry, Alex was supposed to be on, but you could either hear his thoughts on this chapter in this episode or as a Patreon exclusive, one or the other. If you heard it already, then you know the answer to that. And if you haven't, you also know the answer to that. But you could subscribe to us on Patreon either way at patreon.com/OnePiecePodcast. We have a sticker of the month crew club, whatever you want to call it. Every month, just you get a new sticker, you get to vote on it. It's $12 a month. Steve does the art, and by that I mean Steve has done the art because they're based. You get to vote between two older episode art selections, and you get a sticker in the mail. Steve, was that a really clumsy way to describe?
Sure, but makes sense. So
thank you. My brain departed, but yes, please do.
Departed.
Steve...
Are you a caught?
Bringing it all back. I see you're referencing the same thing again doesn't mean it came full circle. That one doesn't work as well. Steve, where can people find you?
SteveYurko.com. On socials, Steve Yurko is the username most places. Listen to me on ProZD Plays Games over on YouTube. Listen to me on 4Kids Flashback. That's it.
This is my first exposure to both the game you were playing now on ProZD Plays Games and the one before. So Yakuza 0 and Majora's Mask. So,
what do you think of what do you think of the Yakuza series?
I was enjoying watching you guys. Like, I think that's a really fun way to experience it and not lose all of my time. As someone who has taken Sungwon's recommendations for games and then lost black holes of time to things where I thought I had no time, and then the time just seeps into the abyss. See, that's full circle. That's how it's done. Joey, where can people find you?
I'm Joey Weiser on Blue Sky and Joey Weiser Comics on Instagram. Blue Sky is just sort of me talking about comics I'm reading, shows I'm watching. I'll usually check in with talk about One Piece every week or two. And Instagram is more professional, where I'm posting art and stuff about upcoming live events and things like that because I am a cartoonist. I'm the author of several graphic novels, including Ghost Hog, Dragon Racer, and the newest book, The Littlest Fighter. Now is a great time to pick up, especially The Littlest Fighter or any of those books if they sound interesting to you, as gifts. This is great gift giving time. This is also a great time to make maybe your lists of favorite books of the year and things like that. And yeah, The Littlest Fighter came out earlier this year. So I hope you all check it out and enjoy.
You know, this might be the moment that I finally get all of the Joey Weiser collection, because I think my son is like just hitting that perfect comics.
Nice.
Yes. Because he comes into my room. Are these about superheroes? I'm like, kind of. Anyway, you can find me at ZachLogan.com on Blue Sky, which is apparently the worst of the platforms. And by that, I mean the least popular. You can also find us at OnePiecePodcast.com. We've been doing this every week for 16 and a half years. We're heading toward our 900th episode on January the 4th. We will be doing something special then, which I hope to announce kind of soon, within the next few weeks. But I'm waiting to hammer out specifics a little more before I overpromise or underdeliver. So I want to make sure that I actually know what we're doing. Our podcast might not be ERGOT nominated or recipients, but you could check us out anywhere you get your podcasts, including Apple Podcasts. So I did get a message on an email I want to mention about someone getting ads for a thing that we denounced basically at the end of the last few episodes, which is to fuck ice, which is as we would often say here. If you do get those ads on our show, please let us know. I think we mentioned last week that these ads are like, we don't choose them or know which ones happen. You know, it's a dynamic placement for those who want to know inside baseball kind of stuff. We choose categories to exclude, and those should be in those categories. And if they're slipping through, you know, please tell us, because that's the only way we could do anything about it. And even then, we gotta do our best, but I don't know what specifically. Sometimes, you know, you can only tell the people who make those decisions. But yeah, please support us generally, and please let us know not to support evil people generally, if that's happening on your feed. You could listen to us ad-free though, and that's really the best way to do it, on Patreon, and then you avoid any of that happening. We will be back next week for a new manga chapter, 1168. Nothing else specifically happening as far as I can know, but thank you all for listening. We'll see you next week, everyone. My name is Zach.
And my name is Steve.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.